back there.
I'm just fucking with you, dude.
I
I'm
know.
like
Hey,
the giant Mario.
yeah, I like them all.
Listen, Jolson is a Nintendo dork, bro. We already know, bro. Like,
I am somehow all of the. I'm a Nintendo. I'm a pony. I have my Steam Deck sitting right near, so I'm PC Master, and
See,
my PC is fantastic. So
that's the
PC Master
secret.
Race.
That's the secret. All the real gamers are fanboys of all three.
Yeah, except the problem, and this is the problem with Xbox that we've talked about, because I have a PC and a PlayStation, I don't need an Xbox. My Series S is not turned on in like.
Hey, you can't play Lost Odyssey on your PC.
That's true, which is weird. Actually,
Nice,
I'll
you could.
be able to with cloud.
I guess you could, but I don't like 360 emulator. It's kind of
and I don't like cloud, and that's what you need to. Because didn't they just say that all your back games are going to be on the cloud soon?
yeah.
Not all of them.
I don't know.
I thought they
It's
said
all
all
of them?
will be playable.
Yeah, it's not all of them.
I don't think they've even officially announced it yet. I think it was still just a report, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I
I
didn't
haven't
think-
looked at it.
No, I thought they
I don't-
officially announced it, and in there's like a little thing that says per
Yeah,
publisher.
if someone wants to verify that, but I'm pretty sure it was just a report from somebody saying soon this is going to happen.
This look good on YouTube. Got it on the big screen. All right.
Also, I'm absolutely buying the Xenoblade Chronicles X
We
remaster
know,
for
bro. We know, bro.
$60 day one. Day
We know.
one.
And he gonna spend $60 on that BS too.
At least I'm buying a game you can't get on modern console.
You can't get Horizon Zero Dawn remastered on PS4.
But I said modern consoles. Technically, the PS4 is not a modern console.
How is not a modern
it is.
console? All right, look, we got.
This is next
Released in
gen.
2014.
There's still PS4 games coming out, so it's modern.
Oh, let me see what we starting with. Shout out to the early 5 viewers, man. We got 5 early viewers on Twitter. Jumping in the stream as soon as it start. Appreciate y'all. So let's see. Episode 4, Maximum Spidey Experience. I guess we'll start with Firewalk and get them out the way. You know what I'm saying? Get y'all thoughts on the GOAT. You know, y'all see it behind me. One of the greatest first-person shooters that ever lived. Going down in history. You know what I'm saying? As a relic, a timeless relic. If you own it, you part of a prestigious club. Not everybody can get in. Conquer, without further ado. Who want to go first on Conquer?
Man, I'm really sad actually about Concord.
Same.
We had a lot of fun with it in the beta, and then a little bit after it released. I didn't get to play a lot of it after release, though. Unfortunately, I was starting my new job position, and I didn't really get much time to play it. So it really sucks that happened. Honestly,
I loved it. I thought for what it was, as in like the FPS of it, as in what you're doing, PvP, it was like a breath of fresh air because it was just something different. You're not playing the same old military shooter or what is it? Men with like exoskeleton suits that could fly or jump off walls, stuff like that. It was something different. And for me, I'm a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. So for me, it was perfect. So like I loved it from beginning to end, the introduction, the characters, the worlds. I loved all of it.
Jolson, did you play it?
No, I never got a chance. I haven't really done a ton of PvP over the last few years. I would say Firewalk died as they lived, irrelevantly.
damn.
Hey,
It sucks. It does suck for them, but nobody had ever heard of them before Concord.
Right.
I mean, it's and like for me, it's like it's not the first time. Like it's Concord by itself is probably like the biggest example of a game that just kind of came out and then didn't do anything. Like it failed. But like it's not the first shooter that I've enjoyed that way. Battleborn died right alongside when Overwatch came out.
Magnus said it was
That game was-
ass. It was not ass.
That game was
bro.
so good. Like Battleborn was actually really good, and it was like a real MOBA shooter hybrid. But everyone wanted to play Overwatch, so whatever. Titanfall 2 wasn't as much of a failure, but another one that just didn't get an audience because people were
released
playing
between
Call of Duty and
Battlefield
Battlefield.
and
Yeah, released between Battlefield and Call of Duty. And like even if it didn't release between Battlefield and Call of Duty, like it's just hard to find an audience in that space now. Like even Battlefield can't really find an audience like it could before. So and that's because the game's not that good. But
Yeah.
just
I
in
was like,
general,
hold on.
like I mean, like
Oh,
I wouldn't say that Call of Duty is like the the pinnacle of quality games either, and it's still popular regardless. Madden and stuff the same way. Like they just come out and those people love them, regardless of whether they do anything.
Concord was chasing a trend in the wrong way too, because when it was put into development, it was trying to chase that live service hero shooter that I'm sure people thought was being established as a new genre kind of around the time of Overwatch and would be around forever. But that apparently did not last that long. But that makes sense too. When you have live service games, you only have so many people looking to play PvP ongoing.
I think
so. It's not like a single player game where you can get people.
He said Black Ops 6 is peak slop. It's not slop, yo. Stop, yo.
Well, I think too is that like the last reports that came out said Concord was only in development for like 2 or 3 years. So I mean, I don't know what trend they were really chasing. Like I know that early reports were saying that it was in development for 8 years or whatever. But it doesn't sound like that was actually the case. So I mean, I just think it was a combination of a lot of games look the same nowadays, right? Like a lot of them, like even like Dragon Age, this Dragon Age game has kind of that Concord-esque stylized look, a lot of games are doing that now, and they all kind of meld together, and people just aren't interested in something to take away. They're already playing Overwatch. They're already playing.
He said he got 40 hours in Dragon Age already. Slow down, Magnus. Slow down, bro.
Well, and Dragon Age's characters, their designs are way better than Concord's were.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I don't really understand the hate for the character designs in Concord though. Like no one really says what's bad about them. They're just like they're just bad. They're just bad. Like why? What's bad about them?
It's tough to talk about aesthetics because I can look at a character and tell you whether or not I find it appealing, right? And I know that like a lot of people, the conversation comes down to do they have big enough boobs or whatever. That's not what I mean. Like
we know how you roll, Jolson.
Yeah, exactly. If there's not a fat Italian plumber with a mustache in it, it's all terrible designs. But like, so when I look at some of the characters of Concord, I think some of it is, you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of people described it as Guardians of the Galaxy on Wish. Like I don't know, the designs weren't good enough and distinct enough to kind of blaze its own way. And so they never really connected with people. Like when Overwatch came out, a lot of those designs did connect with people. They did become iconic in that time. And Concord, for whatever reason, for the vast majority of people looking at it, I think it would have helped, even if they had just cel-shaded the damn game. I think that would have helped. I think they went a bad combination of kind of too realistic designs and not outlandish enough, if that makes sense, while also having some elements that were fantastical, but not enough that they were all still kind of boring to look at, if that makes sense. Like I feel like they should have committed and gone even more over the top.
Yeah. I think the way I look at it as like me, I think you have to look at character designs in a way that they tell you in like the music industry, right? Like if you look at a music artist, what do they tell you about a successful music artist? The men have to want to be you, and the women have to want to sleep with you. All the characters in Conquer, with the exception of Baz, because I even said before all the controversy, she's the only character that I was even interested in. Like, I thought all of the rest of the characters looked garbage. But I think that all the characters on Conquer just look like dorks. Like, they just don't look like cool people. They don't look like anybody that you want to hang out with, anybody you want to party with. Like, they look like if you get seen with one of them in real life, people going to point and laugh at you. And I think when you making a game and the whole aspect of the game is selling on characterization, picking this character, falling in love with this character to the point you want to build them up to level 50, or it was level 30, I think, in Conquered, or whatever it was. Like, you have to have character designs that people look at and say, yo, this motherfucker looks swaggy. Like, you hear me talk about that all the time, but that's what I have to see. I got to see that you looking swaggy. You got some presence. You look cool. You moving around cool. You got a good outfit on. Them characters in Conquered just look dumb, bro.
Are you telling me that JD leading the way with Lizzo wasn't swaggy?
Come on, bro. Listen,
like,
dude,
come on,
I just looked up the characters. I have not seen some of these. When I see, like, I just found a character named DeVeers. When you talk about a dork, like, holy crap! Like, this looks like a character who spent. I can't even, like, whatever.
Like, you think about the characters on Conquer, like.
This person got stuffed in a locker and lived there for 4 years.
Like, what was like the homeless Hispanic dude? What was his name? What was that? Teo?
Fuck yeah, that's the one I played. Soldier guy. Yeah.
No, not the soldier. The other one, the fat one, yo. Remember with the blue bubble coat on?
Daw.
That was his name, dog. Like, come on, bro.
Dog,
Who would ever fucking pick him, yo, on any game, bro? Like, you could put his character model on any game ever created. I wouldn't pick him in The Sims, yo. You're not picking him in nothing.
His gun was fantastic.
He was good. He was a good character. He just looked stupid.
I picked them. I picked them because their kit was really good.
Yeah.
That's why.
See, that's the thing. We pick characters based on what they can do. I pick Baz because I like to play fast, up close, and personal, and that's how I like to play in the game. But realistically, the average consumer, the casual, is going to look at that and say, why would I want to play any of these dorks?
Dahl looks like a reject from Power Wash Simulator who got depressed and ate everything in the fridge and then decided to grab a gun and join Concord. That's what Dahl looks like.
You got Dahl, you got a big trash can, you got...
Even some of the okay-looking characters, like there's elements that are just bad. Like One-Off has a decent look. Like she has those shoulder pads, like it actually works for her, but her glasses look beyond stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a question. Who here can name, not from the campaign, who here can name any of the characters in PvP of COD?
In the PvP?
Isn't that just the campaign characters?
COD has characters.
In PvP?
Yeah. Woods
Yes,
is in there. You can play as Woods. You can play as...
I said not from campaign. Not from campaign.
I haven't played the campaign, so I don't know who in the campaign. I know they got that actor dude.
I meant any COD.
Isn't Nicki Minaj playable in Warzone?
Listen, you could use Spawn on the last card, so listen, I don't know, bro. Like,
wait, are we talking COD or Fortnite? What's going on here?
I think that's the difference, though. I think the difference, though, really is just that Call of Duty is not a hero shooter, right? Like the hero shooters,
right?
A big part of them is the characterization of the cast, the heroes.
And that's why I said if you're gonna do a hero shooter, they should have did it with PlayStation characters.
Well, and the reason why it worked for Blizzard too is because that's where, like, you know, Dota came from too. Was Warcraft 3, right? Mm-hmm. That was a hero game. That's what League of Legends became. You know, each character has a unique hero. It wasn't just their kit, but also their appearance, their story, their lore, their back, you know, all that stuff too. So I mean, like Call of Duty, you know, you have characters, and now they've got the operators, which I think are usually just campaign characters, and with some other ones added in. But like, that's really just a personal thing. You just choose who you want to play as. Whereas, you know.
Go ahead, Wilson.
2099. We got to get producer credits on this idea too. Instead of a Smash Brothers clone, Sony makes a Ratchet and Clank style third-person shooter with all their PlayStation characters. Call it like PlayStation Heroes or something. I would play that.
That would sell. That would sell. I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna say something else too. So, like, it is not just Conquer. Me personally, I think Overwatch is a trash game. I think the gameplay is bad. I don't like anything about Overwatch. I think the characters on that game also look stupid. And I couldn't actually find one character that I wanted to use in Overwatch when I was playing Overwatch 2 when it first came out. I thought all the characters looked dumb. So it's not just Conquer with bad characters, but I think the difference is you also have to look at the timing aspect of it, because Overwatch came out at a time when it was the big dog. It was the top in that genre. So once you become, that's like any other game that's going to come out and try to compete with Fortnite. It's going to be hard because they already got so much of a lead that people just going to look like, oh, another one. You know, no matter how good the game it is, it's like, oh, another Fortnite.
Well, Overwatch also had the Blizzard aura that existed back then. Like, Blizzard doesn't have the same aura it did then. But when it came out, like every time a Blizzard game came out leading up to Overwatch, it was an event.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Because every time Blizzard released a new game, it was a hell of a game. And Overwatch was a hell of a game when it released, but and it's kind of fallen off since with some of the stuff they've done. I still mourn Warcraft 3 Reforged. But
all right, go ahead, Morris.
I just think it's just really sad as to like how people want something new and then we just don't give it a chance. So like you look at all the discussion around Concord and how like this is bad, that's bad, this, that, and the third. And why would you make a hero shooter in this year 2024 moving on forward? But people are excited about Rivals. And then that game is basically a copy and paste of Overwatch. Some of the characters' designs, their moves, even their finishers are straight out of Overwatch. And so it just sucks to me that we're at this point where we won't give games a new shot. We'd rather like harp on just in my opinion, just like minuscule things that just really shouldn't change what the game is. Because like you look at what is it? Not Apex. That's something. I don't think that's what it's called. The spin-off of Titanfall.
Yeah, it's Apex.
It's Apex. And then how now that's going pretty bad. And I think that sucks because that's a really good PvP game. But then you look at that game and what's really changing. You're basically playing the same game. Barely any of the characters get anything new as in skills. And so I can see the reason why that dies, you know? But then these new games that try to come out and try to be something different, and people just don't give them the time and day. They're just like, yeah, no, it's not COD, it's not Fortnite. It's like, what? Play it.
It's like that across the board with entertainment. Movies are the same way. People complain about everything being superheroes and whatnot, but then other stuff that's good doesn't get as much people watching it. I mean, the Transformers movie, Wild Robot did well, but it didn't, do amazing. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Transformers 1 was legit too. I was a doubter when the trailer came out. I hated the designs, but when I went and saw the movie, I was really surprised how good it was.
So, hey, sticking with the topic, I guess, I think we ended just in a new age where, unfortunately, it's not like it was back in the day, when we just seen, it could have been Jersey Devil. I might be showing my age, but it could have been Jersey Devil. I didn't think Jersey Devil was like the greatest character, but the platforming looked cool, the environment looked cool. I wanted to play Jersey Devil. So I just think we in a new age where if the characters are not super cool, if they a dude or if they a female and they not super fine, like I was trying to tell Sonny on Twitter, bro, like that's just what it is. If they not hot or super cool, you got the woke warriors going to come out. They going to swarm around it, and they're going to say, this shit looks ugly. We not playing it. And I'm not trying to give them all the power and say it's only them. It's a combination of timing, the character models. It's a combination of people who don't want to play it. Other games, it being, too similar to other shit. But we are just in a new time where it's not about the gameplay anymore. It's about everything other than the gameplay. And that leads us to Dragon Age controversy, if you want to call it that. So, the woke brigade, of course, with all of the different things about, identity politics and DEI and stuff that they're trying to say about Dragon Age. Personally, I played 4 hours. I've only had one even conversation that even led to identity politics, and one of the answers was I think it was something about change your gender or something like that. But I just chose I love who I am or something like that, and then we move forward. There was no cutscene after that about it or nothing like that. So I think people are literally just going out searching for the shit just to be, mad about, just to have something to talk. So what do y'all think about the Dragon Age controversy? Whoever want to go first?
Well, so I'm actually at the part everyone's complaining about right now, about like the one that where people were talking about how you're forced to be like transgender or whatever with the dialogue options, and it's not true. Like there's a mirror that you look at, and one of the options is gender identity. If you click
that's what I was talking about.
Then you can change your gender identity. But then I could also just choose to step away and just continue my game as the character that I made. So like it's just lying at this point with a lot of these guys, where it's like I don't always, there are things in games and things in progressive media that make me roll my eyes, but I don't care enough to be angry about it. I just ignore it. I'm just not going to make my character transgender. Like I don't want him to be, so I won't. It's that simple. Like if you don't want to make a character like that, you don't have to. If you don't want to engage in those conversations, you don't have to. But it's nice that it's there for the people that want to do that, because it's a role-playing game, and a lot of people want to role play. I mean, I'm someone that likes to role play to be someone else, because like I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. So like I want to be, it's a fantasy game, but like I understand the need for people to want to, do that in their games, and it doesn't affect my experience. So I don't really. It just comes off as lying and disingenuous the way people act on here.
I'm like the complete opposite of you, because when it comes to create a character, I do nothing. I don't want to be a superhero. I don't want to be like, oh, maybe if my hair was like in braids or dreads. I make my character chubby, same hair color, same eye color, this crap ass beard, facial hair nonsense, and I go, there's my dude. Let's go. So I think it's a little bit weird when it comes to people like Grums, where it's like, this is ruining my time. And it's just like, that never even crossed my mind. It says pronouns. I'm like, well, I don't use pronouns. Skip. I'm good. It's like, oh, here's a trans character. I'm like, that's cool. I get nothing against them. And it's just like, I'm gonna keep on going. But then people like the woke brigade are like, oh my god, this ruined my time. I'm like, how? You don't have to do that. You don't have to choose a pronoun. You don't have to make your character trans. And it's just a conversation that takes place that you're just like in life. You can hear someone have these same conversations in life, and you just go, okay, that's nothing to do with me. I'm gonna keep on going. So I personally I hate the anti DEI, anti SBI woke parade. I hate all of them because they're just, in my opinion, they're just idiots. All of them.
It annoys me partially because it's an extreme level that muddies the waters for actual conversations that could be happening, right? And so, like, Veilguard, I think there's a conversation that could be had about the level of quality of how they're handling this stuff. And like, there are trans people I follow on Twitter that find it pretty lacking in that regard. Like, it's ham-fisted is how they would describe it. And I think that's a fair conversation in terms of how you have it. Like, there's a scene going around where that involves doing push-ups because someone was accidentally misgendered. And I think it's fair to say that that scene is kind of cringy. I think it's not an unfair opinion. But then you have guys who, like, just the existence of this stuff causes, like, a conniption. And so we can't have that conversation because we're too busy. Like, if the four of us are sitting here, somebody walks in and they just scream constantly, like, just like a white noise the whole time. Like, it's hard to have any sort of, like, actual conversation at that point. And it feels like that's what that does. So like my social media, I've done a good job of mostly weeding that stuff out. At this point, I mostly see it from other people complaining about those people. And that's
same.
So I think that there should be, like, obviously representation matters. There should be representation. There should be good representation. And the conversation we should be having is, how do you get to that? Because especially like with a trans character, that's just tough to write. Like, how do you make it clear that they're trans without being ham-fisted and over the top when it should be just somebody living their life? You know what I mean? So there's nuance there that I think conversations could be have about the quality that they're in. But then, yes, instead we're dealing with the extremist people that, dear gosh, I just don't want to hear about it from them anymore.
And for a game like Dragon Age, that might come in the form of a character that player might just assume is one gender or the other, but then as you do their companion quest or you get closer to them, that you learn more about that character, and then it comes out, at that point, like during their companion quest or whatever. So there's different ways to go about it. And like, I don't know, like, I think the main problem is, like you were saying, there's just too much extreme discourse that, if you even just say like, hey, I didn't really like the writing in these scenes, they just automatically go on the defensive because it's like they've been hearing so much like harassment from the extreme element about it that anyone that didn't like the writing of whatever game it is,
And then there's people poison. I will say there are some bad actors on the other side, and and again, not to equate, because I do think the extreme, like, even the word woke has lost all meaning because of this crap. Like, right. That's a worse thing, but it's, I think in a way they're actually giving a pass then. Like, they're almost making it easier for bad actors on the other side to go under the radar because they act like everything is out of the pale, right? They're like, oh my gosh, everything is terrible. Well, okay, if everything's terrible, then you should just go away and not interact with it. I don't understand. That's the part I don't get. Like, if you hate all of this, it's easy to avoid. Like, I'm not super hyped for Veilguard. I don't have to buy it.
The issue is that the people leading these kind of charges, the Grums, the Smash, whatever guy, whatever. I mean, I saw someone, I think, somebody came on Twitter, shared a screenshot of him he was talking about it like they're going to war to save the soul of gaming. These are how these people are.
He's like, I'm at the front lines of it. It's like, what war are you talking about?
So I mean, like, they're talking about it like it's some holy crusade or something that they have to lead the charge against, when in reality it's just these people that have realized that they can profit off anger and off of extremism and off of making people angry and getting them riled up, and so.
Wait, are we talking about Grums or are we talking about Kotaku? My bad.
Kotaku. Yeah, both. Yeah, but I mean, you see the way it goes on, like, their tweets and stuff, and how they actively weaponize their communities. You know, like Kotaku writes really cringy ass articles that are rage bait in and of themselves a lot of the time, but it's a different tone to like, we must stop this. You guys have to do something about it. You know, get together and go harass people. You know, they don't say it outright, but the way they talk, you know, and so it's just awful.
Like how are you cringier than Kotaku? Which is just that's like saying something. That's like it's so wild of like the stuff that like the topics they bring up. Like, oh my god, this random movie has the gayest person. I'm like, just tell me about the movie. I don't really care about the gay guy. Is it a good movie or not? Like, why are you focused on that? Just tell me if it's a good movie. Then tell me, oh yeah, there's a great gay character, and I'm like, okay, great. Versus the Grums of the world, I can't believe there's a gay character in 2024. I'm like, okay, you're stupid. But it's like, to like Sonny's point, I can't speak on Veilguard because I haven't played it. I'm not gonna sit there and say that I think the dialogue's cringy or they should update it, this, that, and the third. But you can see games that were basically developed in the sense the same way, where it's had those topics get brought up and how it gets crazier and crazier of the feedback. You look at Last of Us 2, where people were shocked that Ellie was a lesbian. It's like, did you not play the DLC from 7 years prior? Because she was a lesbian in that game. Did you not know that? Then you go to Spider-Man 2, which isn't that far off, but you're talking about people are upset about Spider-Man 2 because there's a pride flag and there's a gay couple. A whole game where you don't have to stop at the pride flag. You don't have to do that side mission. You could just play the game and never have to deal with that. And people are like, this game's ruined. Then you look at Veilguard and it's just like, what are we doing? Like, can you just not play the game? Just play the game. Who gives a shit?
Or not play the game. Like that's,
or that, yeah,
you know,
or
like,
not.
If you really think that gaming as a hobby is getting worse to the point where all this stuff is insidiously in every single game, find a new hobby. I don't know what to tell you, dude, because you're not going to eject a ton of people out of gaming as a whole. In fact, part of the reason gaming has gotten to where it is because it has become the most popular media hobby in the world. It's the biggest moneymaker out of movies, music, all of it now. Video games are number one. And so there literally is something for everyone. And if there are parts of it you don't like, it's not that hard to find things you do. Like, I don't know.
All right, so let's stay on the topic. So I was looking at some tweets this week, and you know, as usual, you know, the woke brigade, they try to classify anything with, you know, a black person, a gay person, a trans person, you know, a Hispanic person, someone that's not that Nathan Drake archetype, you know, is a woke game. So I started thinking to myself, okay, is there too much woke in the games? And then I seen a post about about Nadine whipping Drake's ass, and they said that was like a black girl magic moment that was forced into the game. And I never thought about that when I was playing Uncharted. I was just like, oh damn, Nadine's a badass. She fucked Drake up. I never looked at it like it was some black girl magic moment that was forced. I just played the game and moved on my life. So when you look at stuff like that, you look at Nadine, you look at games like, you know, Dustborn, maybe Dragon Age, Veilguard, obviously. You look at Star Wars, which they said, oh, well, it could have been a Han Solo moment instead of a girl boss game. You know, like, so do y'all think that games are too woke, or do y'all think that it's just an overreaction from the internet?
I want to go first on this one because I'll probably split a little bit because I do think, again, the word woke has kind of lost all meaning. Let's start there. So it's turned into a pejorative that's thrown around by people way too much and doesn't have a meaning. I do think that certain games...
Oh, hold up, before you continue. Also, in that, I forgot to add, the conversation also revolved around politics. Because I believe somebody was talking to... There's a guy, some mutual I got, he's a Final Fantasy page. And people were like, keep politics out of the game. And I was like, Final Fantasy has always been about politics. Like Metal Gear Solid.
I know you're talking about.
Metal Gear Solid was always about politics. It's about nuclear weapons and the government having access to these nuclear weapons and things. So like politics to me have always been in gaming. But so go ahead and continue. Is there too much politics or woke?
Well, and I would say it's part of the same thing. There's a lack of nuance in these conversations sometimes. So you're right. Politics has always been a part of games. There's a meme going around that has like a picture from Family Guy where it has like this horrible rendition of Trump talking to Peter Griffin, and the caption's something like, politics have always been in games, says somebody who can't tell the difference between Metal Gear Solid and this image. I will say there is a difference in how you do things. I think there are game creators who go a little too far in the performative progressive means. And I would say Dustborn is actually a pretty good example of some of that, because some of the stuff in that was just over the top cringy, like wanting to trigger cops by telling them they're racist. Like it's almost like beating you over the head with it at that point. And so I think, like, yes, good politics have always been engaged.
You're getting electrocuted, Joseph.
Your mic's messing up.
Yeah, you're getting electrocuted, dog.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, restart work?
Yeah,
yeah.
So I will say, like, I'll use a non-game example. I would say, like, I love the show The Boys overall. But I will say, as the more Homelander becomes basically a proxy for Trump, the worse the writing gets. And I think that there is a nuance and a subtlety that's good for political writing. Like, if you want to make a statement about geopolitics and the nuclearization of the world, Metal Gear Solid nailed it. If you then made Metal Gear Solid 6 and you had like a Hillary Clinton proxy and you made this woman in a pantsuit with a blonde short hair and finger on the button, and it was just about like I'm choosing a super relevant example in Hillary Clinton, but like that would lose an element of what made Metal Gear Solid great, because it wasn't tied to a specific political thing. When you tie it too specifically to something, you kind of date your game. And like Veilguard, like a lot of people have talked about like the use of the word non-binary in Veilguard, as opposed to, well, if you have a Canary, why don't you have a Canary term for it? Like you could still talk about it in a way that's more representative of the world they've built. So I think there's nuance to it. I think it's not nearly as prevalent as some people try to make it seem. I think there are clearly some creators who don't have quite frankly, the skill to write it more subtly, more with nuance, and they kind of date their games as a result. So when I say this, like less than 0.5% of games probably have anything even coming close to what I'm talking about. So I'm not gonna. I think games as a whole, when you look at how many games come out nowadays, how many freaking games come out that like Squirrel with a gun. Certainly nothing in there that I could say is a little too performative in terms of politics. So many games come out, they always like to point to these single examples and talk about it as an industry. The industry is so big that it's hard to actually draw trends as a whole now because of it.
And that's the truth. Because when you think about it, how many Dustborns or Unknown Nines is it really compared to everything that releases every week?
Yeah, and like I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws now. I can't point to anything I've seen in that game that I would describe as performative. Like, and this is where it sucks to have bad actors. Is it possible someone decided that game should have a female protagonist just to have a female protagonist? Maybe, but it clearly didn't impact how they characterized Kay, I think her name is.
Yep, Kay Vess.
She's just as generic as every white guy from the 2000s.
Yeah.
I forget her name. Congratulations, women, you're catching up. You're getting generic protagonists that don't matter and are poorly written. It's equality. We're living the dream.
Yeah, that's true, RM. Because Dragon Age, I never played Dragon Age, but Dragon Age, dating back to the original Dragon Age, has always had gay characters and trans characters and dialogue in it. So, it's always had that. But whoever want to go next, yeah, go ahead.
You want me to go, honey?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
So, like, I don't really necessarily like disagree with what Colson's saying. There are games I haven't played that I just seen clips of, which could just be out of the moment. I don't have enough context of what's going on, like Dustborn. But then there are conversations like that where I can point to something in real life where I go, that's a little much. But at the same time, I've seen that in real life. That doesn't make it better, but I've seen it in real life where it's kind of pushed on whoever. But at the same time, if that game's not for me, I'm not going to get it, So do I think there's too many Dustborns? No, there's not. And I don't think we're going to get to a point where there's like 50,000 Dustborn games. But then you look at, I forget what the game is called, where you're in Indian family and you cook and there's like fighting in it and stuff like that. They have a lot. I forget what it's called.
Damn, what game is that?
Yeah. Where it has like a lot of great topics, and then in there it goes into discussions about like life and this, that, and the third. I think that's great. Not saying that's not great to have conversations about LGBTQIA+ and trans, things of that nature. But I think sometimes, like, depending who's writing it, like, depending who is writing these stories, I think sometimes it's a little bit, I don't want to use the word too much in a negative way, but it's kind of like, as what Sunny was describing, there was the non-binary trans conversation where it was kind of like, but it didn't ruin your time. It was just kind of just like, oh, this is kind of like here in my face, but I don't have to do that. But again, that conversation, I don't know how that was a natural conversation that would happen in real life. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think there are woke games. I think there are just games now where people just want to identify themselves, and I think that's great. So if there are games that are having more of those options, that's fantastic. But again, as to what I was saying earlier, I just think people are just getting angrier, and it's just stupid. I can think to when people were getting mad that Battlefield included women soldiers, and it's just like, why are we getting mad? Like, you don't have to pick the woman soldier. Like, who cares? Like,
well, so you know what's funny though about that? Just if I can just interject.
Yeah.
So like, I wasn't angry about it, but I played Battlefield 5, and it's weird getting killed by a Nazi soldier, and it zooms in on them. It's like an Asian woman in a Nazi uniform. It's like what? Like what? And then like, I mean, it's just kind of weird. Like, it was just weird. It was like that's, and I'm not looking for historical accuracy in a game where you can launch out of a jet and shoot someone down with a rocket launcher that you had for some reason, and then get back in your jet. Like, but at the same time, it's just like it's a World War II game. You know, there's some level of, I think, you know, there wouldn't, I think there's some level of authenticity that you should go for, and like it was kind of
probably like if you're gonna make a realistic campaign, maybe, but yeah, multiplayer, no reason not to.
Right, and even like in the multiplayer, it's just like, I don't know, like it's. Like I said, it's nothing that I would like go on a tirade on the internet over. But at the same time, it's like, if you wanna do a game where, you know, it's more, you're gonna include a lot more different kinds of people, then I think it should be like, you know, like 2042. Nobody would care because it's the future.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but like, you're talking about a game about, you know, Germany and World War II, where it's like, I mean. I don't know. Like, it may seem silly, but at the same time, like,
I know what you're saying.
I mean, come on.
All right, but you're not answering the important question.
The name of that game was Venba. I found it on Steam.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
I played it this year.
Style, like very 2D.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
But the important question is, or the important thing that we need to answer is, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but what is Miles Morales?
Oh my God.
Do you want me to answer that?
Spider-Man. They're both Spider-Man.
They're both Spider-Man.
That's woke. There's only one Spider-Man. Miles is woke.
I think they've done Miles a disservice by not letting him have more of his own identity, but I think that comes to the comics writing, and he doesn't have his own villain crew as much as Peter Parker. He kind of tends to fight Peter's villains, but
yeah,
I do have opinions on Miles. I love Miles' character. The movies are great. He's great in the games. I actually just wish he was able to do more, as opposed to being like him being a what if of every version of a Marvel character too was kind of weird. Like Miles Morales is Thor.
Well, that one got shit on because it was really, really stereotypical.
That conceptually that was a weird choice anyway, but the execution, that's a whole nother conversation that I'm not getting into. Yeah.
Well, and the thing I would say about Spider-Man is like there aren't really many, if any, comic heroes that have a rogues gallery as good as Spider-Man, besides like Batman.
So, yeah, but they don't even really try as much with Miles.
But when you look at Spider-Man, though, if you look at Spider-Man 2099, who was his villains? You know, Green Goblin 2099, Dr. Octopus 2090. So you still fight the same people. In Miles, it was just the ultimate Green Goblin. Also, it was the same in Spider-Man. Every version of Spider-Man.
And that's, I think, a missed opportunity is my point. Okay, yeah. And here's a hot take for you. I actually think Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, none of them should have been expanded to the point where they are, where they have like a million versions of them. The Bat family is too big, the Superman family is too big, and there's too many damn wall crawlers. Miles and Peter, and after that, they should have just stopped. I don't need Spider-Boy and Spider-Girl.
You like Ben Reilly? I like Ben Reilly, man. Come on, man.
Well, and you know what's
that one was actually, well, I don't know if it was done well initially, but whatever.
Well, you know, what's interesting to me about Spider-Man and all the different Spider-Men is that, you know, like that's like a DC thing. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but it seems like that's more of a DC thing where someone takes the mantle of the Flash or, you know, whatever, like
no, it is.
all the different Flashes or Green Lanterns or whatever.
More in the last 15 years.
Yeah, Marvel was more like, you know, distinct characters, even if they were like someone that was, you know, based on another existing hero, you know. So Spider-Man was different in that.
They've done it with Hulk. They've done it with Thor. They've done it with Spider-Man a million frigging times. So Marvel has jumped on that kind of bandwagon now.
But to Sonny's point, it's more like DC because it's like how many what's not Secret Wars, how many of those DC stories do they do where it's like Crisis of Infinite Earth and all that? How many times do you see like 50 different Supermans? Like we have to go to this one and that one and this, and it's just like, can y'all finish the story up? Like when does it stop? Like I don't care.
And it's not even just a different alternate dimension versions of them. It's like just new people. And you have Barry,
they don't need Jonathan Kent as Superman. They don't need a million Robins. They've gotten to too many Robins now. There's been too many. Kill half of them and never have another one. Like, I feel like it dilutes it. Green Lantern at least makes a little bit of sense because it's a freaking core. But there's too many Earth-based Green Lanterns. They should have stopped at like 3 or 4.
Like Batman's got to be like 180 years old to have fostered so many children to adulthood as Robin.
Well, and it also speaks to the inability to grow other heroes. This is a whole nother topic we could get into. Like their reliance on Batman for every type of media, I think hurts.
Well, I think that's just a trend in comics in general, right? Like the MCU's the MCU's facing that problem now because, you know, and like everyone will act like Iron Man is the most popular Marvel comic hero.
Iron Man was never even a top 5 fucking Marvel hero.
Like until Robert Downey Jr. stepped into the role, no one gave a fuck about Iron Man.
They sold like the top 10. That's why they couldn't make those movies. Blade, X-Men, all the ones Fox owned, they sold them off. That's why they had to make Iron Man.
That's why like the most successful comic book movies were Batman movies and like Spider-Man movies and Superman, because those are like the ones that, you know. So,
but Miles Morales is Spider-Man, but it's a missed opportunity that they didn't help him blaze more of his own identity.
Listen,
I think he'd actually
when they tried to make when he was called Kid Arachnid, he couldn't get over with the viewers, man. So they slapped the name on him, and now he's over.
Kid Arachnid. I mean, that's just a bad name. That's like the Raimi movie, the first Raimi movie where he was like, "No, he got my name wrong. It's the Human Spider."
I bet you,
no one cares. Get out there, kid.
If they released Into the Spider-Verse at that time and they went by Kid Arachnid instead of Spider-Man, I bet you it would have helped.
Kid Arachnid. That's such a terrible name.
It's a terrible name.
Hard to tell, bro.
They need a better name. But I'm just saying, like, part of why Miles has connected so well was because he had good stories. But I feel like they could have done more with it. Like, his Ultimate Run was very good. It was a hell of a way to introduce a character, and it was a great new character. Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, his run in the Marvel games. They have done well with Miles. I just feel like he could be more of an iconic character.
But here's the thing: when they try to give him more his own story and give him his own everything, they say, "Oh, it's woke. He's trying to replace Peter." They're trying to make him out to be more important than he is, so he can replace Peter.
I promise you, though, if people, these companies don't make decisions because of 10 grifters on the internet. if enough people go to the movies to see a movie, they'll do it. They don't give a shit. If you make money with it, the company doesn't give a shit.
But instead we're getting Kraven the Hunter, where he gets his powers from being bit by a lion.
That movie looks so good. Jesus Christ. That trailer looked amazing, bro.
Dude, I'm going to go see it.
Sony's trying to just...
I don't care what y'all talking about. That motherfucking trailer, he was getting busy in that motherfucking trailer.
It was a good trailer.
The way the Rhino looked, he looked comic accurate. I said, what the fuck? They should have been at the Rhino looking like this.
He does. He looks good.
Look, Sonny over there, that Kraven movie look good, bro.
Yeah, it looks so stupid. It's gonna be
amazing.
I'd be surprised if it does any better than Morbius.
No, it's not gonna do good. It's definitely not gonna do good. But it looks good.
I let it slide with your Venom tweet, but don't you come on Twitter talking about people was clapping at the end of Kraven, all right? I don't want to hear it.
I'm telling you, bro. You hating, bro.
By the way, Morbius, not as bad as people say. It's like a 6 out of 10 movie. It's not the worst of all time.
I watched it. It was all right. there's a part in that movie where they're like he just turned into Morbius and that girl's there and they're talking about like what just happened and no one is even surprised. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this now and we're moving on. And I'm like, what?
I just think what frustrates me, and like I'm not a huge comic book reader. Like I have most of my stuff with Spider-Man is based on watching the cartoons and playing games and stuff. But like what frustrates me is Sony continuing to do Spider-Man villain movies without him, even though he's like a really important part.
We're not going to hang on it too much, but let's talk about it because I want to talk about that. So,
especially Venom.
If you see Venom, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but it appears that they're going in a direction to either, but they already confirmed they're doing a live action Miles movie, but it appears they're going in the direction where either they're going to have Eddie Brock as the main hero going forward against the Sinister Six, or they're gonna have Eddie Brock join a Spider-Man. Now, whether that Spider-Man is what's the girl with the big titties?
What?
What's the girl with the big titties? Man?
Are you talking about actual Spider-Woman?
Pamela Anderson?
No, man. The one.
Oh, Madam Web.
No, not Madam Web. She was in Madam Web though.
Sydney Sweeney.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say it appears that they're gonna have Eddie Brock. What y'all laughing for, yo? I forgot her name.
With the big
That's the Spider-Man with the big titties.
Look, he answered it. Didn't he? He knew what I was talking about. Listen, it appears
Mars just knows things. Man.
They're gonna have Eddie Brock either link up with Sydney Sweeney and she's gonna be the main Spider character, or they're gonna bring in Andrew or Miles. One of the three options. So I don't think it's gonna be that much longer before there is a Spider hero in the Sony universe. I do agree with you though. So far it's been dumb without him, but I kind of appreciate the build. People gotta get back to liking the build. See, Marvel has ruined y'all into thinking that every movie is supposed to be. But you gotta appreciate the build. I want to see what happened to Kraven before he go up against Venom. And Andrew Garfield. I want to see how he got his powers.
I mean, I'm cool with that if it ends up being good. But my thing is like, to me, Venom as a character and Eddie Brock as a character are the origin story for them as Venom is very much tied to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like it's just not that good to see the way it turned out in the movies, in my opinion.
I agree. I would rather had it tied to Peter Parker, but I think for what they had to work with, I think they did a good job with Venom's trilogy.
I think it'd be really cool if they do a Spider-Man movie with him finally, and we get to see him go from the way he looks in the Venom movies to like the White Spider appearing across his chest. That shit would be so fucking cool. But yeah, like I just think it's one of those things where, to me, it feels like, and not so much with Venom. I feel like Venom they've actually tried to make some good movies with, but like Morbius and Kraven, to me, just feel like they're just making movies so that they don't lose the license.
Don't listen to him, man. Go see the film. Go see it.
It's not even open. It's not even open.
It's classic. I seen it.
It's not open.
I seen it.
Actually, it looks like Jared Leto
before I bought it, so I didn't even need it.
Morbius would have been better. Morbius would have been better if Matt Smith had played Morbius instead of Jared Leto.
No way you have that.
I have every Spider movie and DVD ever created. Y'all know my body, but listen, go see.
You're not helping your credibility by showing this.
Go see the movie.
You're not helping it.
Sydney Sweeney did an amazing job when she got her outfit. It was amazing.
No, she did not.
Yes,
we know what you prioritized based on how you described it. We know why you thought she did a good job.
She did a good job. When she got her powers, it was great. I like the end credit scene when all the Spider Women linked up. It was beautiful, man. Now her base character, her as a human, her as a human throughout the movie, she was annoying. I'll give it to you. She was annoying, and the writing was bad.
Were you even listening to her, or were you just staring slightly down?
No, she was trash. Her character was trash. I was not.
No, it would be really weird if people came out of that saying like, "Oh, I went and saw it for Sydney Sweeney," because she plays like a 15-year-old the entire movie, basically, except for the scenes where she's hot in the future. But no, I can't hate on you too much for Morbius because I have
Oh my god!
No, they even got this man helmet off on the cover, bro. They cannot keep his helmet on, yo. Why?
In season 1's cover,
why would they keep his helmet? I don't understand.
Okay, you know what? No, I'm going back. Luigi's Mansion is a better IP than Halo now because of that.
Yo, why won't they keep this man helmet? What's their obsession with taking this man helmet?
I hate these.
That
I hated
is horrible,
season 1.
Yo.
You hate them, but you own them?
I hate this season. It's the worst Halo thing ever made. Season 2 was acceptable. I enjoyed watching season 2.
It was fruit from a poison tree. I don't give a shit if season 2 was better. Season 1 was so trash. Anything that comes after it is automatically season 1 of Halo is the Grums of TV shows.
Oh my god! Not the Grums.
Right,
that's a low blow.
That was too far.
Listen, even Joseph know when you are a fan of something, you go and buy it and try to enjoy it no matter what. When Joseph buys that GameCube game remaster of that what is the name of the game? I don't even know the name of the goddamn
Xenoblade Chronicles.
When he buys that Xenoblade that was on Wii U, that looks like a GameCube game in 2024, he's gonna force himself to enjoy it. He's gonna pay $60 for it, so I don't want to hear nothing he's talking about. Enjoy that game. That
good game. You know what that game doesn't do? It doesn't take an iconic character, put his ass on the screen, and have him screw If you have a Mario TV show that you see bare Mario ass before he screws a prisoner of war, I will swear that movie off. I am such a big fan that I'm going to allow that nonsense.
In season 2, right? Season 2 was a lot better, but look, in season 2, he was in like the holographic strip club where he had the hologram looking like Cortana.
Oh my god, bro!
You're trying to sell us on this? You know what? Destroy Halo Studios. We need no Halo for the next 15 years.
Who
Only
did that
bring
series?
it back after the time capsule gets open.
Who did that series?
Paramount.
Paramount.
It's Paramount.
Yeah. I forget like the studio, but Paramount was involved.
I don't know if 343 helped out with it or not.
All right, let's not give Paramount no more clout. Moving on to the next topic.
It's got
I don't want to talk about Paramount no more, man. Look, next topic.
343. Yeah, I'm glad they should.
I don't want to talk about 343 no more either, man. They don't deserve no talk time either.
Paramount's about to release Sonic 3, bro. So
when Sonic 3 comes out, we'll talk about Paramount again. Until then, we done with Paramount. So, all right, listen. So, Sunny and Mars, they went at it this week.
No, we didn't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They went at it this week over the PlayStation plates.
Nah, nothing happened. No,
Mars was being a Sony pony.
Nah,
Sonny was being an X-Bot, a Phil Spence defense squad. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds accurate. Me a pony? No, that's not accurate.
And they were talking about, did we get scammed with the PS5 Slim plates not fitting on a Pro? I'm going to let them talk about it since they had so much to talk about it. I don't have no opinion on the subject because I don't buy no fucking plates or covers for my system. So y'all go ahead.
I mean, it's just like they purposely made a console that looks the same. It has the same dimensions. And then you could literally fit them on there, except they changed the teeth to not. And they're not selling any for you to buy for your PS5 Pro. So like
yet.
What money are you making by making a different one? Because you're gonna have to develop a different manufacturing for the new ones, and you're not selling them, so you're not making money. So all you're doing is a bunch of people are refunding it, the ones that they ordered, or sending them back, because like it doesn't make business sense. People are like, oh, it's a business, like they're just trying to make more money. Doing what? What more money are they making?
Ponies versus bots. That's what we came to see. Ponies versus bots. 106 people watching live. Get up in the chat. Ponies versus bots. All right, go ahead.
And they had. Anyway, it was dumb. I think everyone agrees.
The people came to see violence. All 106 of them. Go ahead, Mars.
Well, to be clear, I was just I can cuss, right? I forget.
Yeah.
I can cuss. Yeah. I was just fucking with Sonny because I just spotted one word that he said, and I just hammered it on that. I just wanted to fuck with him. Like, I've talked about it with other people, like Guap and other people, like around the Pony Barn, where it is dumb. It is dumb that Sony could be making money on this product, like easily, On the other side of it, I do think it's dumb people blindly bought it and are like upset because if it was never confirmed, why are you buying things? And then people are pointing out this Japanese article and people are pointing out this random interview that I think you pulled up, or somebody was helping you out to get Sunny or like whatever have you.
Yeah, we were jumping his ass.
And it's just like, to me personally, all of that just screamed I didn't get an official confirmation, so I wouldn't buy it. And then for me, I'm really picky and choosy when it comes to plates, so I just don't want to buy a random plate just because say I have one. So like, I personally, this might piss off some people, I have no remorse for those people who bought it. I think they're stupid. That's just me. I think you're dumb. It's just like, why did you buy it? You didn't even know. Like, I'm in a chat where they were arguing about it like day of, and I'm sitting here like, you don't even know. Why are we discussing this? having spaces about it, like, oh my god, look at this proof and look at that proof. I'm like, you didn't get confirmation. Why are we talking about this? Yeah, it's all dumb as hell. So that's just me. Do I think Sonny's wrong that it's dumb? No, he's 100% right. That is dumb. That's free money. They would have been killing it from the hype of PS5 Pro. They would have been killing it selling those plates. But instead, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because of a few things were off by like a millimeter or centimeter, whatever the size difference is. So yeah, I agree with him on that. But then people were also pointing out how like the bottom plate works, but why doesn't the top? I'm like, did you see the difference? There is a divide. You do see that, right? There's two lines. So why would a plate fit? You know what? They're dumb. They're just dumb. They're stupid.
They made two lines.
Jolson, what you think about these ponies and bots in this argument?
This is like the thing I care about least on the list. Like, I've never bought a plate.
Yeah, me neither.
Before for any of these things. If I've never like personalized the console or anything. I think I have like one sticker on the case for my Kindle. Like, just I don't know. Like if it matters to them, I'm just gonna agree with Mars that if you bought without confirmation and it matters so much you're canceling, you kind of jumped the gun on that, and that's on you.
Listen, man, I think that
but it is dumb that they can't do both.
I think that if you brought a plate without no official confirmation, because I always, from those two things that I shared, the Japanese article and then the interview, I always felt like, okay, it doesn't fit. Obviously, it doesn't fit. But if you never got an official word from PlayStation and you went out and decided that you wanted to be a fucking pony, and PlayStation releasing some new shit, I gotta buy everything. I gotta get the stand. I gotta get the disc drive. I gotta get the plates. I gotta get the controller. I gotta get the 30th anniversary DualSense. I gotta get the 30th anniversary goddamn PSP. If you went out and did that, I just feel like you're a dork, bro. Because why you did that? Like, what are you gaining out of that?
I just wonder how often you guys deal with the general public and consumers in general, because like you need that. They should have said something, because like
okay, but the general public aren't the ones pre-ordering a PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying in general, consumers in general.
That's even worse though, Jolson. You telling me the hardcore PlayStation fans, the ones that's gonna buy everything, just went out and just brought everything. They literally lived up to it. They went out and brought everything with no confirmation, and now they sitting on the internet looking stupid.
They're so used to having a company that actually delivers product that it's shocking.
Look, he had to turn it to console wars, bro. Look at him, bro.
If you're gonna throw the word pony, it's just
this
more
was
fun
the people
this way
came
to
to
play.
see, man.
Yeah.
Both companies have botched this, bro. I feel like Xbox could have had so many more raps based on their properties that they have.
Sony botched the release of a console because of a customization plate. Xbox botched the release of every major video game in the last 10 years.
Oh my god, bro. That's crazy.
Sonny, I'm not
Steven, defend yourself. Defend yourself.
Super hater, bro. Hey, you know, I can't change his mind.
Defend yourself, man.
When people are sick, they're just sick, bro. I can't do
Phil Spencer agreed with me. He is on record. We lost a generation we couldn't afford to lose.
That motherfucker, I can't stand him anymore, bro.
He killed every chance to defend the Xbox good with that quote.
To go back to that whole war analogy, the Xbox guys, we're in the trenches, and we're in the trenches, and the general got up and was like, "Hey, you know what? They kind of have a point. We shit. Like, we suck. Like, damn, bro."
Like I was like here, like I was just like, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen, you know, like I'm not really like they're done, but I don't know. And when he came out and said, even if we made like the best game, it still wouldn't do anything.
Yeah,
I'm
after
like,
he said that, it was the generation was over. After he said that, the generation was over.
We're gonna spend $100 billion buying two of the biggest third-party publishers, but games don't sell consoles, people.
It was cooked, bro.
Right.
I love it. Phil Spencer is just a great quote machine for if Sony is your preferred out of the two, Phil Spencer's doing more of a help for you than he is for Xbox fans at this point.
I'm of the mindset that stuff like Game Pass, buying a few studios here and there, even Bethesda was like Phil Spencer wanting to bring and get talent games studios to Xbox. Activision to me feels more like when Microsoft jumped in and was like, we just like to own IP, even if we don't fucking do anything with it. We'll buy Skype, kill it, make teams. You know, like, I mean, like, that's kind of where I think, you know, when the generation started, it was the Phil Spencer show, but now it's the Satya Nadella, you know, we're going to take it in a different way. And that's why, you know, I think it's a topic on here, Xbox hardware sales, but like
Yeah.
they've spent the last 2 years telling us that, you know, you don't need a console, get a Fire Stick, get a play on cloud, you know, play on PlayStation now, you know, with the games we're bringing there, you know. So I mean, I think I don't think they're ever going to leave the hardware space, because I think that they know they have a customer base that they still cater to. It's getting smaller, but they still have it. But I don't think it'll be a focus. Like they'll release some hardware, whether it's competitive with the PS6 or not, who knows? I don't care. But like, you know, they'll release something for Xbox owners that want to still have an Xbox to have and play their games. But it won't ever be something that they put as the center of their, you know, strategy for gaming.
Staying on the topic, I don't know how long y'all want to spend on this. Xbox console hardware is down for the 3rd year in a row. So that's 3 years out of the 4 that the console has been on the market, that the generation has been a thing. And they are down. And then not only are they down by a large margin. I don't remember the number, but if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 40 or 50 maybe %. It was a big number. So
yeah, they we're at the point of the console generation where you're going to see declines anyway a little bit, because we are 4 years in. So like technically PlayStation sales, console sales are
too.
Yeah, they
year over year. Twitch year over year. But Xbox has a unique problem where they weren't good sales to begin with, and they're down a bigger margin.
I think the only time they were up was when they finally had stock after COVID.
There you go.
That was the only time. Yeah.
There was a period where you could find Xboxes but not PlayStation.
They were down when Starfield launched, bro.
Yeah. So it's basically what Sonny said. If you spend all your time telling people you don't need this, they'll take you at your word. And I joked about it before we got on stream, but I have a PC, I have a PlayStation. Technically, I'm covered. The best way to play Game Pass is PC Game Pass. You have devalued your console so much that the best version of your marquee product is on PC.
All right, so if they increase PC to $20, do you think that'll help the console grow?
No.
I think it just makes them. I think they just because we were already there. It would just hemorrhage subscribers on the PC side. It would not incentivize on the console side. People would just see it as a negative, not an equal. Like if they dropped console, though, that might grow it. I'll be honest. I bought my Series S to be a Game Pass machine, and then I got a PC, and it just stopped being useful.
The main issue with Xbox is just content. There's no exclusive content on the console. There hasn't been since like 2017 or 2018 when they went day and date with PC, and now the floodgates are open where even a PlayStation player that might be interested in an Xbox game will just wait because 4 games have come. Indiana Jones is coming. I have no doubt Starfield. Yeah, I mean Doom. Yeah, I mean I think it's hard to say.
It could be an exclusive, but I believe it's launching same day on PlayStation.
It is.
It is. Yeah. No. My point is like I don't know if that game was ever going to be considered for exclusivity because. And Phil was always so wishy-washy. He never really got out there and just said for sure, like, everything from Bethesda is now exclusive. He did the whole, like, we've got legacy titles on whatever, and, like, did that mean games that are already released, like ESO or Fallout 76, or do they mean, like, Doom Eternal's on PS5, so the next Doom will also be on PS5? Like, he doesn't ever really clarify these things. So it's like, we don't know. We don't know if that happened or if maybe after, we saw that email from Pete Hines or whatever about, why is Activision not have to follow the same rules as us, with exclusivity. So maybe they've changed their mind. But I find it hard to believe Doom was going to be exclusive and then they changed their mind and they're also going to make release date on PS5. If it was going to be exclusive, I feel like it would still be a timed exclusive because I don't know how you would just shift to another platform mid-development. But I could be wrong.
Do you think Avowed is going to remain exclusive?
I don't. I at this point, I would just assume that everything is coming eventually. And if it doesn't, and you really want to play the game, you could probably get it on a sale on your PC a year later. If it's like, oh, it's been a year and it's not coming to PS5, I'll just play it on PC.
All right, but so Satya said more flagship titles are coming to more consoles.
Yeah.
What do y'all take that as?
Everything. Starfield's probably going to be the next one they announce.
Everything. Forza,
Gears.
I think Gears and
Leak you're about to say it, I think. Sonny.
What?
Whatever you're going to say.
Oh no, I mean I think it's possible. I mean whether it is going to happen or not, I don't know. But I wouldn't go on record to say, oh no. I mean there's still people saying, oh Halo will never be on PS5. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't say that. Like I wouldn't go on record because they're going to definitely bookmark that. Um, I think I think Halo and Gears and Forza are obviously the three games that are Xbox's identity of the last 10 years, 10 to 15 years. Um, whether you think that's good or bad or not. I mean, it was enough to satisfy me most of the time, so whatever. But like, if those are the last three, that might be the last three holdouts. But I think anything they've acquired recently, Hellblade 2 is probably going to go to PS5 at some point. Starfield is definitely going to go to PS5 at some point.
You don't think they'll keep
what
Blade
else?
exclusive to compete against Spider-Man and X-Men?
Marvel behind that? No, Marvel.
Why would they? Xbox. I won't even say Xbox because they're not really. It's not even Xbox anymore. It's Microsoft Gaming now. Microsoft doesn't look at PlayStation as a compet.
But they have to have something to want to make you buy a digital white Series X, though, right?
No, they don't care. They're like they say, we've got our 30 million players or whatever, 30 million install base is about what they're at right now, right? And then they probably have another, I don't know how many million of people that still play on Xbox One, right? Because there's a lot of people that still haven't come over from that gen, even on PlayStation. They said was like 40% or 50% of their user base hasn't switched over yet. So like, however many Xbox owners that is, fuck, I didn't lost my train of thought.
Do y'all think we see a big boost in console sales for Xbox next year when Grand Theft Auto launches? You don't think there'll be millions of people to upgrade just to play Grand Theft Auto that are Xbox mains?
I think there will be.
I think you're more likely to see a boost in PlayStation. You might see a boost. I bet PlayStation sees a bigger boost.
It'll be both, but because there are more PS4 owners than Xbox One owners, there'll be more PlayStations because they already have their like Phil Spencer said, they lost the worst generation to lose. So everyone that has a PS4 now has a library of games digitally, and when GTA 6 comes out, most of them will probably upgrade to a PS5 because why wouldn't you just stay in the same ecosystem? Why would you? It's like when you have a phone, like I switched from Android to iPhone and it sucked for a little while. And now I'm thinking about going back and I just don't want to deal with the hassle of switching phone brands again because it's just annoying. You get into an ecosystem and you're stuck there for a while. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, I just think that Xbox and Microsoft don't look at PlayStation as a competitor because if they did, they wouldn't be putting their products on their console. Like, you don't put your products on a competitor's platform. Like, what sense would that make? So, I mean, they don't consider it.
But the hardcore Xbox fans will say, but PlayStation is putting Horizon Lego on Switch, so
because they don't view Switch as a competitor.
Well, I mean, there's that. It could be that, but also they're not putting. Okay, when Switch 2 comes out, they're not going to put Spider-Man on Switch. Like, it's a Lego game.
That was a targeted decision based on the audience they want to attract, then also to their Horizon brand.
And it also
could have. Switch isn't a direct competitor.
And it was a Lego decision too, by the way.
It could have also been Lego saying, hey, we want to sell. We're willing to not sell on Xbox because that's your direct, whatever console competitor or whatever. But Swim, this is just assumption, obviously. But I mean, Lego has games on everything, so I mean, I think it's coming to PC too, right, at launch.
I think so.
But I don't think it's like I could be wrong, but I don't think it's like a first party game developed entirely by a first party studio that's going to Switch, right?
It's almost more like a license deal.
Yeah, like I think Guerrilla's working on it a little bit, but I can't imagine it's like all hands on deck. The whole studio is making this Lego Horizon game. Like I don't imagine that's true. They might be. I think it's on Decima though, so maybe they're helping with the engine stuff. But I just don't think. I just don't know. It'd be like, I mean, I don't know. Then again, I guess you can get some Microsoft, software on your iPhone, like Excel and stuff.
All right, but Mr. Boomstick said he can confirm God of War is coming to Xbox, and Helldivers is still coming to Game Pass.
Who gives a shit what that guy says?
Mr. Boomstick is the Xbox insider. He said God of War Ragnarok is coming, and Helldivers they're negotiating it on Game Pass. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, he's full of shit.
I think a lot of those people are just, what's the term? Was it coping?
Grifters?
Or grifters too. I just think like when you're told specifically, and it's kind of like a mindset, like you're on the best system, you're on the best console. This is the best year of gaming, you know, year after year after year on Microsoft's E3 presentation, right? And then you don't feel that way. You don't feel that you're getting those games, you know?
Yeah.
But then here comes Phil and he's telling you like, I promise you console is where it's at, and then like a day later it's like, oh yeah, we're announcing we're going to be on Samsung TVs, and it's like, what's going on? Like, you just told us yesterday that consoles is all that matters, that's our core base, and then you're like, oh yeah, we announced a partnership with Apple, and it's just like, it does not seem as though your console is your base. It sounds like you're going everywhere.
Hell, one of the first games on the first party you know, banner or whatever is that Towerborn game, and it's not only is it not on Xbox right now, it's only on Steam. It's not even on Game Pass on PC.
Damn, it's not on Game Pass.
It's in early access on Steam. Yet it's this first party Xbox game on the Xbox. Like the word Xbox has no meaning. Like they need to just change the brand name to something else.
Bro. They got to commit to making it Microsoft gaming at this point.
If somebody was like trying to argue with me about early access, I'm like, Xbox has early access. They have their own version of that. Mm-hmm. They did that with the whatchamacallit, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game. Like Grounded. They did it with that game. Grounded was an early access.
And Power World,
so too. you can play those games ahead of time before it was fully released, you know? So yeah, that decision makes zero sense. And when you go to their website, it's more confusing because it states right on their website, yeah, Xbox and PC. And then you're like, okay, if you're saying I can get it, why can't I get it? It's like, oh, well, there's early access. It's like, right, you have early access. Why can't I play it on Xbox? We don't know.
And like the thing, if the developer just isn't in a space to be able to support early access across multiple platforms, then the one platform you should choose is the one that you're marketing for, which is Xbox. Like, I mean, like I know that, I don't know. And even like early in the generation, you know, we had stuff like Gears Tactics, a Gears of War game launched on PC, didn't come to Xbox for I think a year later. You know, Microsoft Flight Sim didn't launch on Xbox. You know, like what is going on? That doesn't, you know, make any sense. Like, I mean, something like Age of Empires, sure. Like those games don't often come to console at all. But like tactics games are on console, you know, stuff like, you know, XCOM and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like the PC thing, as much as I use it, I play a lot of their games on PC. It's just like, you're not going to build a console base that way. And there's a ceiling to console. Like it's like 100 million, right? I mean, because let's be honest, like Switch has sold 150 million, but 150 million individuals did not buy a Switch. A lot of people have multiple. I have 2 in my house. So like, you know, like it's around that.
How many you got, Joseph?
Right?
I bought the Switch at launch, and then I sold that one to upgrade to my OLED. So technically, I have bought 2.
Josh said Mars better be on next week so he can catch this smoke.
Who?
Josh.
Josh who?
Oh, he disrespecting that man.
I don't know who Josh is.
RT Josh, what you mean?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, damn.
By the way, this is a huge aside, but like 10 minutes ago, I realized who Mars exactly looks like to me, and I can't get it out of my head.
Go ahead and say it, please, because I already said it. Go ahead and say it.
No, it's probably somebody different. You may
no,
not
it's
be
not. Who you talking about?
Ken Lerner, the guy who played Principal Flutie in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna drop this in the Discord.
I said Angry Joe.
Isn't that the guy that got eaten by the hyena kids?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
That's messed up, man. He doesn't look like Flutie.
He kind of looks like.
I like him. He was awesome. I like him. I'll take that. That's fine.
All right, listen.
Like it's not even meant to be disrespectful. I just can't unsee it.
That's fine.
All right, before we go, we gotta talk about the House of Mario. We gotta kick Nintendo back in, bro. Why are they still getting away with charging $60 for Donkey Kong Returns HD and charging $60.
This man still talking about Donkey Kong.
Yo, I'm not gonna let them live, yo, for what they did, how they massacred my boy, bro. I just can't get, I can't, bro. And listen,
guy.
Xenoblade XYZ, LGTV, whatever that shit is called, that's coming out, they charging full price for. Why are they the only company allowed to get away with this bullshit? Because when PlayStation do it, the whole internet frying them, saying all they do is remakes and masters at full price. Nintendo, nah, it was on Wii U, it didn't sell that much. Nah, Donkey Kong, he don't get that many games. Like, why is there always an excuse for them, yo?
No, that's fair. There are reasons to criticize, but there is a difference between taking a game that released on Wii U, a console that only sold about 22 million units, and there's no other way to play it, and putting it on Switch. You're right, it should be less. And remaking Until Dawn that I can play on my PS5.
Joseph, how many copies? Somebody right now tell me how many copies Donkey Kong Country Returns sold, so we can put this narrative to bed. Somebody look that up. How many copies that sold? Hey, the 120 people right now watching live. Somebody tell me how much Donkey Kong Country Returns sold, and what platform? And what platform was it on? What platform was it on?
It was on Wii and it sold over 6.53 million copies.
And how many systems did the Wii sell?
150, 140.
So we talking about you talking about the Wii U did 15 million. They got to remaster it. The Wii sold 140. Why are they charging $60 for Donkey Kong Returns?
Because people like you are going to buy it.
And then Donkey Kong sold 6 million. How many copies did Xenoblade XYZ LGTV sell? How many copies did that game sell?
500,000. 500,000. You want to know why it's getting? Remastered? Because all 4 Xenoblade games will now be on a playable system, and if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, all 4 will be playable. It's probably going to be. If they're releasing Metroid Prime 4 next year, it's going to be backwards compatible. But so all 4 will be able to be played on the Switch 2, probably.
So they can't make Donkey Kong Country Returns backwards compatible on the Switch. They can't drop that in the store, the Switch store, nothing. They just got.
They're gonna drop it, and you and all the Donkey Kong fans are gonna pay $60.
Because he only got 3 games. He only got 3 games. What else we supposed to play?
You're gonna take it. You're gonna say thank you, and you're gonna bend over.
What we supposed to play the one with the drums? The Donkey Kong game with the drum. Like, what else we supposed to play?
Disrespect Donkey Konga. First off,
that's what we supposed to play. Donkey Konga.
If they re-release it, yes, you would pay for it, and you would love it.
Yo, they made a Metroid game that didn't sell for shit, but they want to keep giving us old ass Donkey Kong games for full price.
Yes.
I am the biggest hater of Nintendo for doing that, because I don't know, like, if Colson is around the same age as I am. I'm not saying how old I am.
Jolson, bro, put a J on that man name, bro.
I was gonna say Colson. My name is not Colson.
He said J Colson. J Jolson.
Not Phil.
Jolson. It's too late. Is that I've been around where, like, they've re-released Nintendo. I'm sorry, Mario Brothers Nintendo, every handheld, every console, and it's. I want to hear you on the Wii U conversation, but how many times do I have to re-buy Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past? Why do I?
You know why? Because we do. Because
no. What I'm saying is if we're talking about backwards compatibility, Xbox, I would say, is the king of that, right? Mm-hmm. But for Nintendo to go from store to store and kill each store where I purchased said game. That is the reason why I have to buy it, because I'm losing it. I'm not defending
it. I'm telling you it's happening because it keeps working. And it's interesting because on the other hand, they do weird things like the Mario 3D Legends, which was 3 games for $60, so $20 a pop. That was a very fair release, but they time locked it like it was only a temporary release. Like, they do weird shit. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it worked, and because we keep buying it, they keep doing it.
So
now, Xenoblade is from a system that you can't get. Okay, if you buy Donkey Kong, you ain't able to say shit about this.
Bro, I'm not buying Donkey Kong.
He's gonna show up the stream and be like, "Look what I got, guys," and I'm gonna be sitting there like, "You hypocritical bastard."
I'm not doing it, bro. I can't, bro. I can't. I gotta stand strong.
Dude, you bought Madam Web. You're buying Donkey Kong.
Nah. I can't go out like a sucker, bro. I can't justify paying $60 for that game, and it's never gonna go on sale. Tropical Freeze is damn near still full price, and that was on the Wii U. I'm
not gonna go out like a sucker, but I'm also gonna buy Madam Web.
Madam Web was fire, bro. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Dakota Johnson. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney.
Bro.
Y'all gonna stop, bro. Y'all gonna stop, bro.
That movie was so trash.
No, it wasn't, bro. You're a hater, bro. Look, and y'all talking about me. He got both seasons of Halo. He can't say nothing to me. He can't talk to me. You can't talk to me.
He at least says it's trash. You're saying it's not.
He's like an abused partner. He's like the wife that shows up and can't leave when it comes to Halo products. He keeps getting punched in the face, but he won't walk out the door.
But I can leave. I have a Switch. I haven't brought a game for Switch in 3 years. If you check my Switch profile, the most played game on my Switch is YouTube because my son, that's all he uses it for. I don't play nothing. I haven't bought Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'm not buying Country Return.
He has a second Switch and a second profile that he ain't telling anybody about.
Absolutely
and he's playing Donkey Kong all the time.
I have better shit to spend my money on than to give it to Daddy Mario, bro. I can't.
I'm gonna acknowledge the way they handle remasters is it's a mixed bag. A lot of it's bad. Sometimes they do something like the Mario 3D All Stars or like Metroid Prime remake. Was fantastic. That was a great version of an old game, and the upgrades were legit. Like it is noticeably different. But yes, most of their remasters are overpriced and they sell well, and that's why we're gonna keep getting them that way.
And then the thing about it, they only keep remastering these games when they have nothing to show. Nothing to show, and it is the same thing Sony does, but Sony gets cooked.
You're muted.
Hold up.
Your mic's not working.
RMR said can't be a JRPG king ignoring the Switch.
What
JRPG am I missing by not buying anything on Switch? Don't tell me nothing where I'm watching text and pressing buttons and watching cutscenes. What JRPG am I missing on the Switch? Please, I'm gonna wait for you to type it in the chat, RM.
Who is it? Who said this?
RMR. What JRPG am I missing?
RMR.
I think really you just need a PlayStation.
If it's running under 30 FPS. And on top of that, I'm just watching cutscenes and selecting text. Don't type it.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
I guarantee you that's not going to run 30 FPS. I promise you that's not going to run 30 FPS.
I didn't hear anything. You just said, what JRPG am I missing on the Switch?
I said it gotta run 30 FPS. Xenoblade is an action-based JRPG, right?
Yeah.
Is it running 30 FPS or is it running like Dragon's dog shit?
I think its performance is generally fine on the Switch. I don't know if it had any major issues.
Nothing's performance is fine on the Switch, bro. Don't do that, bro.
No, it's really just been the last couple of years that have been. Yeah, Pokemon.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition runs at a locked 30 FPS.
I don't believe that. I need to do my research on that. Give it to Digital Foundry. Somebody give that game to John right now. I don't believe that. Look, you got Zelda running at 20 FPS. Pokemon with the bare minimum N64 graphics can't even run 30 FPS.
Xenoblade Chronicles is a Wii game.
Pokemon was just a bad development. Like that didn't have nothing. There's way better looking games that run a lot better on Switch than that Pokemon game. So,
what is the Witcher 3 hitting on Switch?
Oh my gosh!
Oh god!
I think it runs. I mean, it does.
I don't know.
Didn't run good on Xbox One.
The point, by the way, the point I was making before my headset died. So I think Nintendo was originally intending to release the Switch 2 this year, and they pushed it back to make sure that they have enough units. And so the release schedule you're seeing, yes, is a little bit of a stopgap release schedule. So there's more remasters. You are getting some stuff like Echoes of Wisdom and Mario and Luigi Brothership, but those are like smaller titles compared to their normal big outputs. So I do think some of this is kind of bridging the gap from when they intended to release the next Switch to when they are going to release the next one. So there's an element of that.
So before we go, we're gonna revisit this when the Switch 2 comes out and your launch titles are Metroid Prime 4.
You mean Peak?
Huh?
Peak? That would be Peak.
It would. Metroid Prime 4 is amazing.
Okay.
It's gonna be
listen, Metroid.
It's gonna be Metroid Prime 4, Zelda Wind Waker 4K, Smash Ultimate Complete Edition. Come on, bro. Fire. You know what they about to do, fire. Bro.
All fire. And a 3D Mario. Done.
If it's going to be like Odyssey, they might as well keep it.
Odyssey's like my favorite Mario. But you know what else they'll do? They'll
take that hat off, yo. Take that hat off. You don't just take the hat off, bro.
They will release Luigi's Mansion 4, continuing the franchise that is better than Halo.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
Listen, if they drop Metroid Prime 4 and Luigi Mansion 4 on launch, I won't say nothing. Oh shit!
I'm sorry, audience. I've had to be fashionably late. Yeah. I heard that shit you was talking. yeah. I saw that shit you was talking.
Hey yo!
Peter Griffin ass shirt.
Hey,
Oh, not his.
hey. I'm sick today. Be nice to me.
I
I have no idea who you are.
Oh yeah. Now you about to know. Well, now you about to know. What's good, Mario?
Yeah, bro, he gotta take that hat off. You feel me?
I am sorry, I am late. I just finished recording another pod over there at Triver's Pod. Shout out Triver's Podcast. What are we talking about, real quick? Like, I just jump right in. What are we talking about?
We are at the end of the show.
At the end.
But if
we never have what everybody's playing.
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
I think we're all playing Dragon Age.
Yeah. Well, I'm not playing Dragon Age. I'm saving that for next week when I get the Pro. But that'll be the first game I play on the Pro. We'll probably talk about that Friday. But I'm currently playing quick Call of Duty and Life is Strange 2. I'm about to wrap up. I'm about to start episode 4 and 5 and get that done. Did I miss anything crazy? I did see the itinerary. Concord, I saw it coming. Nobody was shocked. I wasn't shocked anyway. Hope they bounce back. What else is on there? What else did I miss?
run through the whole itinerary real quick.
Dragon Age controversy.
Dragon Age, I don't care. I do not.
Do you hate video games having too many black characters?
No, I'm cool with it. I like seeing my people on video game because I'm tired of offense.
Can't be a part of it.
No offense to all the white guys in here, but I did see a bunch of generic white guys for like half my life in video games. So I'm kind of cool with some Asian person, black person, Hispanic person, indigenous person. I don't care. I'm cool with something new. Like I don't give I could play as a fucking rock for all I give a shit. Like give that rock
with a gun.
They're gonna release Rock with a gun. Spider's gonna be there day one.
Yeah. Spider's gonna be on Squirt with a gun. I said Squirt.
Whoa! Squirt with a gun. Hey, yo! Thanks for coming.
Hey, that was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I've been doing a lot of talking today. My mouth's kind of dry. Pause. But
yo! What the fuck?
Yeah. That was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That was kind of crazy. Yeah. We might be time to wrap it up now.
Hey, our last topic.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Marv.
Go ahead, Marv.
Why is it when Josh mentioned he was gonna play Veilguard on PS5 Pro, Sonny had a look on his face. We hating on the PS5 Pro. Man must have
what look on my face? What are you talking about,
bro? What you mean?
He's an Xbox. He doesn't like any PlayStation.
I'll clip it. I will find the clip. I'll clip it.
He's just instigating.
All right.
Oh, Nintendo with full price remasters? Yeah, that's robbery, bro. Nintendo need to stop with that shit. Nintendo need to stop with that shit, bro. In fact, bring Mario Odyssey down like to $30 at this point, bro. That enough. Enough is enough for Mario Odyssey being $60. Xbox console sales down. We all kind of talked about this last week that we're at the end of the Xbox console era. They're starting to scam us. I didn't buy them shits, but the people that did buy and return them plates quickly as you can. I don't buy plates. I've kind of got the same plates I've had since I bought the PlayStation 5. But if you want, I'm not gonna knock anybody that wants to buy custom plates, buy them. But to answer the question, Sony did scam y'all. Like that's nasty. Sony, you wrong for that. You nasty for that. Yeah, you nasty for that. That was wrong. Woke Games. What the fuck is Woke Games?
No, we was asking, is there too many woke games? Was it over exaggeration?
Okay, what's the definition of a woke game?
Any game
Rumble.
that features trans ideology, politics, and black people.
No, because that shit sells. When you make a game more as realistic as you possibly can, it sells at the end of the day. Persona 5 was a great seller, not just because it was a Persona game, because it got deep and real with a lot of real world shit, from sexual assault to politics to teachers abuse, etc. The list goes on. When you relate to shit in the world of gaming, and I get it, it's supposed to be an escape, a fantasy, yada yada yada. But what makes gaming great, that sometimes we see ourselves in the characters and their stories, is that makes the game even greater. It's just like movies. When you see yourself relate to a movie character or in their story, what do? You root for them to win. It's the end of the day. Don't be mad because you don't like niggas.
I mean, and the thing is too, is just like a lot of these examples of like woke games that failed, they're just bad. They're just bad in general. They're not.
What is a woke game that failed? Like, I haven't played a woke.
Concord is an example.
Concord didn't fail because of woke.
Concord's a bad example because it didn't fail because it was woke.
It failed because
bad character designs, and it was a hero shooter in 2024 that nobody wanted a hero shooter.
And it came out around the time of Call of Duty. I'm sorry, you were going to fail. I didn't want you to fail. I honestly thought Conquer was going to make it to the first season character before it started to drop in numbers and all that.
Freaking Kill the Justice League made it to season 3. I really, so I was shocked.
Like,
you know,
like that.
That game's actually like, I think in the top 10 sellers of the year, or like top 15 or something like that. So like, it's actually, it may not be hitting expectations, but it's selling pretty well relative to
it. In comparison, though, Xbox is basically the Concord of gaming company.
Oh my god,
that's a conversation. But no, the woke game thing, and like, no, it just like y'all just. I actually said this when somebody asked me, like, what is a tired? I forgot what he asked, but he said, what's something y'all tired of hearing about in gaming? I said, stop putting woke and DEI and everything gaming related when just because y'all don't like something new. No matter what it is, it could be anything. If it's squirrel with a gun, why is it's DEI? Why they pick a squirrel? Why ain't pick that raccoon? Why ain't pick the chicken? What's wrong with the chicken? Like
they said God of War Ragnarok was sweet baby infested, and they said Kratos had feelings.
That's hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. That's fucking hilarious.
That's what they said. They said he had feelings for his son.
So. Another thing, SBI thing, it's time to move on from the SBI thing. Y'all can't keep blaming them no more, bro. Move on. I saw some dude recently, a content creator I follow. He posted a dude from TikTok talk about like the Dragon Age shit. Like every time he typed in Dragon Age gameplay, it was literally just woke DEI. It wasn't even gameplay. It was just a 30-minute rant with a stupid ass thumbnail and clip art of somebody doing some stupid shit like that, and it was calling it woke DEI. Like yo, bro,
meth face.
The Dreamcast, oh my god, the Asmongold bullshit. But it's like yo, dog, just stop. Like it's like let's make gaming great again by showing gameplay, playing games, making gaming great again.
If that's the same clip I saw, the guy was legit trying to find gameplay of Veilguard. No,
it's the same one. Yeah. Black dude, right? Black dude?
He just wanted to know what the gameplay was. That's it.
He didn't find it.
And he's like, all I find are these political videos. Why? He's like, just play the fucking game.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it too, but it was also sparked the conversation that how the YouTube algorithm, maybe algorithm in general, gaming has
it's actually indicative of how search algorithms and media algorithms are now prioritizing rage.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a smaller group than you think that's doing all this crying. Mm-hmm. But we hear about it so much, one, because the algorithm does it, but then two, we have so many people reacting to it that the algorithm then forces the reactions onto our timelines because, again, it's pushing rage bait.
I don't care. I don't care. Like again, I saw somebody complain about the breast size in Dragon Age. I don't care. Y'all I'm not trying.
Nope. That one I think is weird because you're talking about an inclusive character. See, this is where the nuance gets lost. We were talking about this earlier, where there are genuine things we could talk about with nuance and like the level of quality about the writing.
How big do you want your character breast to be?
It's not even me. I don't even make women. But I'm saying, like, if you have a busty woman trying to make herself in a game.
Busty woman.
But I'm saying, like, honestly, honestly,
you want them double G's.
If you want someone, the average, I mean, if you talk about cup size, the average cup size in America is like double D's, right? So if you have a woman trying to make herself, why is it that she can't make herself because of those body sliders? Because you have a very good character creator. It almost seems like a conscious decision to limit body shape.
Did you play Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah.
Do you remember the character creation of like it just kind of gave you like three choices when it came to the bodily parts of a female?
Yeah, and I remember people criticizing that.
I did not care. Like I understand.
There are genuine
day. I'm not saying you're wrong either. I'm not saying because I think when you explained it like that, okay, I understand. Like maybe a girl with some double D's want to make a character with some double D's like her. I'm fine with that. Fine, I get it. That's understandable.
I'm not here to tell somebody.
Busty blonde.
I'm not here to tell somebody that they can't be upset if they can't be represented in a character creator. What if you had a character creator that was only white characters, right? If you told me like I want to be able to make myself in the game, well, and if my response is like, well, I don't really care about that, like.
No, because Joe makes a good.
In the discussion. There is all I'm saying.
When you explain it like that, then that's the conversation. Yeah. It's kind of like the Killmonger hairstyle that we black people have hated for years. It's not that we hate the hairstyle; it's that y'all put it on every character, and then black people
Prince of Persia. That was my only complaint about Prince of Persia's character.
I hate it. I ain't gonna lie. I hated it. I actually thought he could rock it. I hated it on Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, that looked terrible with that shit, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. And I had a conversation with my good man Wolf about that. Like, I just think it's being so stretched out that it's getting lost in the nuance. That the conversation is that this is a common hairstyle that we've seen on many black people for the past.
And why does Miles
3
have
years
that
now,
bro?
That was the one that really pissed me off with that Miles.
Bro.
But where's Adidas too?
Oh my gosh, that final suit was so bad. Anyway,
I'm sorry, that fit was swaggy.
Was
I'm
so
sorry.
bad.
I'll be honest.
I liked it.
That shit was god.
No, that shit swaggy. I'm sorry.
I changed that shit immediately.
I just didn't like the hair being out, but other than that, I thought it was swaggy.
Yeah. This speaks to the lack of nuance. This is the problem when you have too many people screeching at everything.
Yes, I agree with that, Joe.
The actual conversations get drowned out because we were talking about the level of quality of the writing in Dragon Age. That's a worthy discussion to have.
That is a worthy discussion. I haven't seen it yet because I've been quiet. But
not the
I heard it's
existence
bad.
of these characters, but how are you handling them? How is their dialogue? These are things that should be talked about because we can get better representation by having those discussions. But unfortunately, you know, if the 5 of us in a room having a conversation, somebody comes in, this was my example earlier, and they just sit there and scream constantly, you can't have the conversation because you got to shut up the screamer.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And most likely when we do the Gutter Award, the Maximum Spider Awards next week, we're going to talk about some people that are like that. But it's just again, I'm speaking from a personal preference here. I don't care because at the end of the day, it's a fictional character. I'm not that down bad where I need to make like I've really seen how many gooners out there now, bro, in the gaming community, and it's really it's really nasty because I get some people might have a gooning moment. Y'all consistently having gooner moments, and it's like, all right, bro, y'all need to go sit in an ice cold bathtub or some shit, bro. Calm down. But I agree.
Or get a woman.
That too. Talk to some like the dude in that TikTok. Talk to some bitches, bro. Talk to some bitches. But
on the flip side, do you really want to subject women to these people? Like, you're going to sacrifice the ladies on these guys?
Bro, you know how many lady gooners it is on Twitter?
There are a lot of lady gooners.
That's an underrated number. Bro, that is an underrated number.
Go on Instagram. Go on Instagram. It's a lot of gooners.
It's starting to be. I'm starting to see a lot more lady gooner grifters than I am seeing the Grum Squad on Twitter. I'm telling you, they are out there.
They out there.
Let's talk nuance. I think it's fair if somebody says I want more attractive, not sexualized. Like if they're like, I wish characters looked better on average. Because even talking about Concord, part of the problem with Concord was some of the characters just looked busted.
They looked
like they looked bad.
I didn't think the characters. I didn't like them. I ain't gonna say I loved them or hated them, but I didn't think they looked their best.
But if you don't like them, you're less prone to buy the game and play the game.
I wasn't buying the game either way.
But I'm saying, like in general, if you have someone who might be interested, but they don't really like the designs, they're not gonna. That's gonna be another barrier between them and buying the game.
So I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. That's fair because I think Mars, you gifted me a beta code when the beta came out. Shout out Mars for that.
Shout out to Mars. He gave me one too, man. Good.
I wasn't going to buy the game either way because my stance.
Who are you?
My stance on my stance on Concord was this game has no story. So why the fuck should I care about any of these characters? So while I'm not going to spend $40 on a game that has no story, that's my stance on it because I'm a big story guy. Either way, I felt like Concord was going to fail, but I didn't give it a 2-week deadline of dying.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
I didn't give it that. Like I gave it maybe half a year, maybe till New Year's, and then we'll start to see a drop and eventually shut down.
RMR said thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws design. We already talked about Star Wars. I think everybody was fine with K-Vest for the most part.
I was fine with K-Vest. I did maybe I think again Star Wars Outlaws desperately needs patches. Maybe the Pro could help with that. I think some of the design on K-Vest could look a little better, but she wasn't ugly. I think
he has a little bit of the Wicked Witch facial structure that stands out.
Hey yo, he tweaking, bro. I don't know what the fuck he talking about, bro.
Well, like when I'm playing the game and when I'm looking at her talking, her facial structure reminds me of the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz.
I think the facial animations during
it could be better, Spider.
The facial animations were pretty
ugly, but
they weren't that
good.
Better. Yeah.
I
think it could be better. What are we expecting with Ubisoft's facial animations during cutscenes? Were they ever really good in any game?
No.
Assassin's Creed hit some good ones for a bit.
What Assassin's Creed had good facial animations?
For its time, Assassin's Creed 2 was pretty much just great technology.
Okay, 2, but I'm talking about recently, and the technology's gotten better.
Odyssey, Valhalla, and Origins. I'd say were all great.
Valhalla did not look great.
I didn't think Valhalla facial animation did not look good.
I think we've been spoiled by the last 5 years.
Valhalla came out PS5. That's even more.
20.
When did 2020 or 2021? When did Valhalla drop?
It was because it was the game I bought with my PS5. That and Miles Morales.
Yo, you brought Assassin's Creed on launch day?
I bought a new console. I bought Assassin's Creed on launch day.
No, I did because I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, but I bought it for the PS4 and got the free upgrade.
I loved Odyssey, and that gave me hope for Valhalla. And then Valhalla is one of the most disappointing titles I've ever played.
So
Valhalla was not. I thought Odyssey in terms of Assassin's. I'm sorry, Sonny, real quick, but I thought Valhalla Assassin's Creed storyline was good. It's just fucking so long, bro.
So padded. It was so stretched out.
As far as buying Assassin's Creed day one, when you're an Xbox fan and you buy a new Xbox console, you know Microsoft's not giving you any games to buy with it day one. So I had to get Assassin's Creed Origins with my Xbox One X because that was the only game that came out around the time that
I remember that. I remember that. I was at GameStop during that time.
And then fast forward to the Series X, we didn't even get an Assassin. I didn't even get an Assassin. I got fucking the Falconeer.
Oh, I can't even tell you what game that is, bro. I don't know what that is. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It wasn't even good.
This is why he buys Halo on Blu-ray, because he doesn't know good things anymore. He's been an Xbox fan for too long.
I mean, like, no, Ubisoft doesn't.
Still looks pretty cool.
Ubisoft doesn't do great facial animations. I don't think they ever have, honestly, that I can't even think of. Maybe Splinter Cell back in the day, but
I think the last Ubisoft game that really pushed tech was Unity, and it was just so bad performance-wise that they just kind of abandoned it. Yeah. Unity so I mean, but Unity, like, if you play Unity today on a modern console, it's almost better looking than the newest Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, me too, Aaron. But here's the thing: when you buy games day one, like we do, you got to have some type of quality control. You know, you can't be out here.
You can't be spending money on everything.
Yeah, bro, you
can't. We can't.
Everything. People think I buy everything. I don't buy everything.
Hold on. We can't be out here listening to him talk about he can't buy everything day one. Every other day, this man.
Every week at game,
every other day. Every other day, this guy's going to GameStop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I buy quality though. I don't buy garbage on day one.
Yeah, he walk in the chat. He walk in the GameStop and hey yo, I want them things on me.
Look. I'm sure it'll turn out to be a good game, but I highly doubt Killer Bean is releasing in a great technical state.
No, it will.
He do the game.
I'm telling you it will because I talked to the developer and he said the reason why it didn't come out in August as expected is because it's not polished like he wants it to be.
He gonna be on here talking about
it don't have a release date.
He gonna be on here talking about
gonna do that too.
Look, Scrub. Killer Bean don't have pop in like Elden Ring. That's what he's gonna be on here next time.
Of course.
He's gonna be in here
because y'all be picking and choosing too much for me, bro. They be picking and choosing too much for me, bro.
Who? You?
Sonny over here. Sonny, he posting cherry picked that screenshot talking about Elden Ring. What do you say? The art style is so incredible. Look at the draw distance, the view, the sky.
Bring this back,
bro. That game looked like fucking hot dog water, nigga. When you play that game, it got the grass popping in and all type of shit. Come on, man.
Elden Ring is amazing. No, I don't think Elden Ring is the best looking game.
It looks amazing.
Its art design really is astounding.
And then they say art design. They use art design to because they don't want to say, look, the graphics is bullshit. So they want to say, oh, but the art design is great. Stop it, ro. Cut it off.
No, the art design and the graphics are not the same. Art design is like
we know.
You can have a game that looks amazing because of graphics, but you can have a game that looks amazing because of art design.
Everyone's just
if the graphics
everyone's just screaming now. Okay, look, my point was I've never once said that Elden Ring is like the pinnacle of visual fidelity. Like that's like Horizon Forbidden West, Red Dead Redemption.
That's why
2.
you was getting cooked when you posted that photo.
Yeah.
Okay, no one ever said that, but you're saying that a game looks bad, and that's just not the same thing as saying
I didn't say it looked bad. I didn't say it looked
bad. I'm saying Elden Ring looks like a early Xbox One game to a late 360 game. It does not look good. The grass is popping in. It looks like Dark Souls 2 with a jump button. It don't look good.
Hold up, Sonny. I want to ask you a question. Have you played a lot of the role games like Demon's Souls, Serico, all of them, like Elden Ring, all of them? Have you played like a majority of them, right?
Pause that
from software games.
Yeah,
Before you answer, yeah, you said Serico?
Serico? What is that?
Sekiro. Oh my god.
Sekiro. I don't know how to pronounce that game, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I haven't played Sekiro, but I've played all the Dark Souls games. I've played
all right, and compared to Elden Ring, like, what is the best looking like game? like
I
of the
swear
world
to
of that genre.
Let me
that,
get my mouse ready. I swear to God, if he say Elden Ring, I'm kicking him out of here, bro. I swear to God, if he say Elden Ring, yo.
I mean, for me, it just depends on what you're. I mean, you're talking about like just like straight like.
No, it ain't no
visual
depends.
fidelity.
Answer the question, bro. Answer the question.
I mean,
bro.
it would probably be like it would probably be Lies of P or Demon Souls, the remake. As far as just pure.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I would say
remake I've heard was the best looking. Lies of P I heard was great looking as well.
But I would say that Elden Ring definitely stands in a class of its own as far as just art style.
Go ahead. You can go ahead and do it.
Okay, look at how much praise Metaphor's getting, even though it's a fucking PS3 game.
And they are wrong too. That Metaphor looks like a PS3 game. Like, it looks bad.
That's all Persona games. That's all Persona games.
There is a delineation between. Look,
Metaphor
listen.
Is on all the platforms.
There is a delineation between, a art style being appealing and being great, and then not being as technically proficient game in the visual department. Like there are two separate things here, and that's my issue with just this flat out.
You can say, okay, the game looks bad, but the art style looks great. You don't have to just say, oh no, and it don't matter what the graphics is. The art, you can say both, bro. You can say both.
But it doesn't. But it doesn't look bad. It's not a technical masterpiece. But Elden Ring.
If that shit was called Round Nights, if that shit was called Round Nights, and it was just a generic character, and it was made by fucking, it could have been made by goddamn Activision or somebody, they would be Sega. They would be cooking the fuck out of that game because it has egregious amounts of popping. The character models look like 360 character models. Sonic Frontiers is a better game graphically than Elden Ring, and people say Sonic Frontiers looks like shit.
Lighting.
So don't.
Gaslighting.
So that's not gaslighting, bro. Put them side by side. Let's do them side by side. We can do them side by side.
And I love Sonic Frontiers.
We can do it side by side. We can do it side by side. Sonic Frontiers absolutely
with you until
better.
There's not a Sonic game released that looks as good.
I don't know if that's true yet.
That's crazy.
Oh no,
that's insane. Is that a cat?
That's such nonsense.
That's insane, bro. I think y'all just like Elden Ring, bro.
It's one thing.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like
that's fine. I got Elden Ring on both systems. It's okay to like the game, but tell the truth. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is, because when people hype up the Metaphor, because I'm gonna get Metaphor like about I think around Christmas time. When people hyped up the Metaphor graphics, and I looked at it, I'm like, I just like this look like regular Persona graphics to me.
It's not about graphics. It's about how does it look altogether.
But the thing about I think some games don't rely on graphics. They rely on the story. They rely on the characters. They rely on the gameplay.
I agree with that.
And that's fine. That's fine. But we can also call a spade and say, yo.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I love the art style on Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. It looks straight out of a comic book, hand drawn, beautiful. Colors pop. The scenery pops. No, the game sucks graphically. It does not look good. It's not up to standards. Just because the art style is amazing does not mean the game looks good. It just doesn't.
Yeah, just because the game doesn't have the same graphics as
no, you're missing the point. It don't gotta look like that. It don't gotta look
Apparently
like that. Because Forbidden Because Forbidden West is probably one of the greatest looking games of all time, but it's boring as a motherfucker. So at the end of the day, it's not all about the graphics. It's not all about the graphics. All I'm saying is that we can be objective. That's all I'm saying.
Apparently we can't, because you think a game looks like shit if the graphics aren't.
No, that's not true. That's not true, bro.
That's not true.
Yeah, you lost me.
True,
yeah, you
that's kind
lost
of how
me.
you framed
that's
it, though.
That's not how I framed it. All I said is that we can tell the truth about a game, bro. I don't think it's plenty of games that don't look as good as even Elden Ring that I like. Like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, it looks like a Dreamcast game. It has a great art style, but no, it looks like a Dreamcast game. So if somebody said, "Oh, you like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk," and that looks trash graphics, like a Dream. Okay, you're right.
You're right. Say it has trash graphics. It looks good.
That's not true. It looks bad. It just has a good art style. It looks like a Dreamcast game. A Dreamcast game in 2024 is not acceptable graphics. It is just not. But I love the game.
Wasn't that game meant to be like the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio?
Yes, it is.
But aren't those the same visuals?
I'm just saying, if somebody said to me, you can't talk about this because Bomb Rush Cyberpunk looks bad and it looks like a Dreamcast game, I would say I agree. But I like the art style because
that's my point.
It does. It looks bad compared to whatever you want to compare it to, bro. It just doesn't look good.
I'm on the sunny side. I'm on Sunny side.
Of course you on Sunny side. Ponies and bots.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
they making up, bro.
I just think it's reductive of the art style that a team was going for. I mean, like Crow Country just came out this year, and they went with a PS1 looking kind of graphical presentation. The game looks awesome. It just doesn't look photorealistic like Red Dead 2. Like that's fine.
So I think that's where that. But the thing about Elden Ring is that y'all were hyping up this to be the next coming of the greatest graphical feature ever.
I don't
know a single person who did that.
Bro,
I don't know anybody.
I
that did
want
that.
to say like
Y'all
let me backtrack it. Y'all weren't hyping it up, but y'all talked about like it was a great graphical game, and I'm looking at Elden Ring. I'm like,
that. I don't remember ever hyping up Elden Ring.
You and I didn't really know each other when Elden Ring came out.
I'm not talking about you and Sunny, but like I've seen people talk about Elden Ring like that.
The visual, like there's a visually stunning aspect when you're exploring Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree, where like when you come out of a cave in Shadow of the Erdtree and you see the Shadow Tree for the first time, it is just an amazing vista in front of you because of the art design of the game and because this world is laid out in front of you. Like it's just like I've talked to so many people who kind of just stop and take in the visuals because it gives you that feeling of going on an adventure in this amazing looking world.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with that because I've done that in many. Like I've done that in Outlaws. I've done that recently in Life is Strange. I've done that in Ghost of Tsushima, where you see Ghost of Tsushima's not because that's like that's like beyond that's top tier graphical features. But I've done that where I'm like I take like Assassin's Creed is very well known for that.
Yeah,
like moments you just like you're there and hey, I'll get right back to you real quick. With Assassin's Creed is just like that. When you get to those viewpoints and you literally like take a minute and just like, man, like that fucking view is phenomenal. Like art style, like the Vesta, like you said. To answer Ard's point about my thoughts on Horizon story, I've liked the Horizon story. I was always been intrigued by it. I always thought it was something new, especially with the dystopian, prehistoric, futuristic robot dinosaurs. I thought that was really a new thing when I first unveiled. I like Aloy's story, even though Aloy's character definitely still needs work. Her as a character, I don't know if y'all talked about that or ever talked about it. Her as a character it's a grind. I don't think she's the best character.
Boiled chicken.
A little bit of a wooden plank.
Boiled
like
chicken.
She's not, and I thought Jin Sakai was bad, but damn, at least Jin put it on at the last.
I will not accept Jin Sakai's standards. That man was fantastic.
Bro, I don't remember nothing about Jin Sakai after I beat that game.
The last act, Jin Sakai put it on. I paused, but he showed his ass in the last act. Like he was acting his ass off.
He had a genuine emotional journey. Aloy, she had discovery. I don't know if it was emotional.
Yeah, I think it was more intellectual discovery more than emotional discovery. Yeah. So. And I think like that's the only knock with Horizon for me. That I think because every other character I liked everybody in Horizon. I am going to go play it again when the Pro drops for Zero Dawn remastered. I might redo just both of them, Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, to get like the full taste of the story again. But no, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Like I really enjoyed the Zero Dawn story. I think Aloy is just like really just a semi boring, if not boring character. That's it. Like she's a badass, but she's just like, it's like, damn man, like talk some shit, talk some trash, call somebody a bitch.
Man.
Oh man, she'd fit in Veilguard. That makes sense then. Okay.
I didn't care for the forced lesbianism because I it's a choice at the end of the day when that, especially in that Forbidden West DLC. I don't care, and honestly,
I don't know what you guys are referring to, so it must be DLC.
No, I'm talking about some DEI stuff in the comments. Here you go.
Oh man,
go talk to Grums about that, bro. Take that to Grums page.
If you be Forbidden West, they had a DLC post Forbidden West where she continues the journey and meets another girl, and there's like a choice where you could kiss her or not.
Basically, Aloy a bulldog, and he want to know how people feel about it.
Yeah, and I don't care. Like I didn't care. I did choose to kiss. I don't care. Like at the end of the day, I'm not stupid. Like. Again, I'm not trying to say nothing about art or nothing like, but when you meet more women in your life, you can probably figure out which ones are lesbians, which ones are not.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was always kind of obvious that
Aloy was a lesbian. Yeah, I thought so too. I guess not to everybody else.
It seemed to fit her character pretty good.
I mean, especially when you start Forbidden West, she do friend zone the one dude that was into her.
Oh, like the king or something.
She should
get married. She was like,
nah, I can't do that right now.
I thought she was gonna let Vol crack, man. I thought my man had a chance, man, before he died, man. I thought she was gonna let him crack, man.
But I think people made a big deal about that with like being a lesbian. People are gonna always make a big deal when a character is gay, and I don't give a shit because I'm not gonna lie, bro. They're fictional characters and they're not fucking anybody I know. So,
all right, do y'all have any final thoughts before I get back to romancing my thick dwarf on Dragon Age?
What?
Oh, thank God.
I was very confused with that. I didn't know we.
I'm romancing Harden now since Sonny and JD kept talking about Nave. I don't even want her no more. Y'all can have a bitch. I want the thick dwarf. Y'all can have her, bro. I'm not fighting with y'all over
wants
her
the
no more.
hard.
I'm gonna well, in terms of the romance options, like what do I have available in Dragon Age Real?
For any of them, any of your party
well,
members,
we only 4 hours in, but so far you just got the 2 options, which are the first 2 people that join your party. The girl Neve, who is, I don't know what she is, but she's kind of like indigenous, like she might be Indian or something like that. She's hot as hell. And then you got the thick dwarf Harden, who's
exotic.
Little dwarf, you know, but she thick, you know what I mean? And that's like the first person you can romance. But yeah, so far it hasn't been, just to let people know, it hasn't been any trans cutscenes, any trans dialogue. The only trans dialogue that you can engage in, you don't even have to, you could choose something different. You don't even have to go down that path. So
it wasn't even that. I thought like you had to be a trans character to get trans dialogue, which isn't any.
They tell you at the beginning of the character creator, your gender will base your like your dialogue options. So if you don't choose they them, you won't get the trans dialogue.
All right, and that's simple.
There's
people
something.
are like, no, people are killing me about like they're forcing. No, you're not being forced. It's an option. If you want extra dialogue, pick that option. If you don't want,
everything else in the game is a choice.
That tells me like some of y'all don't play RPG games, and I'm someone who just started playing RPG games in fucking 2020. So I'm still a baby and a noob to fucking RPG games, and I can figure that shit out. That is basic math.
There's a mirror or something that you can go into, and you can kind of like choosing. I don't think choosing your pronouns at the beginning sets you up for those choices in the game. I think the mirror lets you go in and finalize the trans identity. So like you might set your pronouns as he, him, but then you're gonna go in and if you go to the mirror, you can set it to where I guess you used to be, you know, she, her, or whatever, and now you're he, him, or whatever, and then that unlocks the thing. But still, it's still up to you.
Yeah, I mean, you can ignore that shit like I did and just move on. Like,
what's the combat so far on Vilgar for y'all?
Swaggy as fuck. What class are you?
I love it. I'm a warrior. So I've heard the mage combat's kind of bad early.
Yeah, I have the what is it called? The one with the dual wield knives and the bow and arrow. That's the one.
The rogue.
Yes, I'm a rogue, and that shit is so fast and clean. I posted some clips. It's great.
So my friend that's playing, he started with the mage and he said it's kind of not great. Like the mage isn't great. And I've heard some other people say that it's not as fun because enemies don't seem to care about your companions. They just rush at you constantly.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
because your companions can't die,
so doing the
companions can't die.
They can't die, but if you die at all, the game is over.
Oh,
so it ain't no reviving, none of that. If you die, that's it.
Yeah. I'm not
so doing So he was saying that, like, you know, playing the mage is kind of annoying because you can't ever get any distance to cast spells or whatever. But I don't know if that's something that is alleviated later in the game.
What are the classes? How many class archetypes are there?
3.
So it's there's 3 major ones, which is kind of consistent with Dragon Age: warrior, rogue, and mage. And then from there, there's some sub specs you can do in their skill trees to like specialize further. So overall, there's 3 classes and I think 3 subclasses on top of that, as far as I know at this moment.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, I can't wait to play it next week. As soon as I get the pro in, I'm hooking it up. Bop, drive down the Dragon Age.
The GameStop manager already called me. He said, "Bro, I got your PS5 Pro in, bro. I know you ready." I said, "Boy, you know I'm gonna be in there Thursday."
The 7, because I already got charged with my card. So the email Jake charged me. So that shit is coming. All I need now is just to be at the door. Yep. And I think. Well, for people who got it from GameStop, because this is my first time doing it from direct, I remember GameStop used to be mad quick with them shit, so you might get them shits like early morning, like.
Yeah, they already got them in. Mine's got them in yesterday.
I'm talking about people getting delivered, not the ones going to the store.
You talking about from GameStop? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't deliver. I wouldn't order nothing from GameStop online.
I did it back because I used to be a scalper back in the PS5 era, like to get some money, but
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I worked there, so I used to do some scalping. But they used to do the bundle, so I used to get them. They delivered them shits like in 2 days. Like them shit used to be out there by 6 a.m. I wasn't up yet. But yeah. So like, I hope it get here early. Like they would it come out the 7th?
Yeah, next Thursday.
I hope it come. I hope it be at my door pile. It's probably not. I really hope it would be at my door like Wednesday night, so I could just open it and start playing. But like if it's there Thursday morning, all more better for me, man. I can just spend that entire day gaming. So
yeah, I took off next Friday, so I'm gonna be home.
That weekend, I'm just gaming, bro, on my pro. Like, I'm probably gonna be potting while I game.
All right, any final thoughts from the rest of the crew?
Nah, sorry for the late show.
Nah, you good, bro.
I'll be here for the full show next week, y'all.
All right, no final thoughts, Sonny? You ready to get back to romancing?
Hey, you know what? Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Joseph?
Nah, I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Mars,
I'm an old man.
Old as hell. It's Saturday tomorrow. He talking about I'm about to go to bed.
Yeah, it's 11, bro. I'm staying up till 2. I gotta finish these episodes.
What you got, Mars? Tell them about them giveaways you doing. I seen you doing some giveaways, bro. Let them know.
Oh my god. I'm not doing anything right now. I might do something for the humble whenever that comes out, but I typically do them just for whoever who wants one. Don't really care like who wants it or anything.
Hey Chad, if you haven't plugged in with Mars, great content creator, does great giveaways on PC and Steam yeah, I'm about to say that's pretty much it. And he talk mad shit. He be talking shit.
Yeah, Mars.
I loved everything until the end, but yes, I agree with everything you said.
I ran out of things to say. I ain't gonna lie. I had a brain.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. I love it.
But yeah, tap in with Mars, y'all. Tap in with Mars. But yeah, I ain't got nothing left to say. Just get ready for the pro, y'all. We obviously, Gutter, you gonna have it on your itinerary for next week. Yeah, just get ready. And if you're still looking for one, check your local GameStop because I heard they got them in. They might have some extras. I can't promise, but they might have some extras.
All right, man. Listen, thank you to all 158 live viewers right now on Twitter. Shout out to YouTube. I haven't been checking the YouTube, but shout out to y'all because I know y'all watching too. And we'll see y'all next Friday, man.